Alrighty, we'll go to roll call. Treasurer Gallardo,
Here. Here.
Member Avalos,
Here.
myself, Matthew Rodriguez, I'm here. Anthony Herrera, he is not present at the moment. I believe he'll be joining us on Zoom for I guess public comment on his own behalf. Just he will not be able to vote during that time. Rosemary Alanis.
Present.
Right, with that, we've established a quorum. Okay, so now we're moving to public comments. This is an opportunity for the members of the public, this includes on Zoom, to address the board on any matter related to the commission that is not listed on the agenda. Comments will be limited to no more than 3 minutes. Are there any public comments at this time?
Yes, my name is Santiago Segura, 2209 Thompson. The reason I came up here is there was an application submitted by Park and Recreation for requesting the amount of $15,000 for public for bathrooms at Pioneer Village, and I don't think there was a decision made on that. At least that we know. I came up at a meeting, but I don't know if it was tabled
A
or.
proposal was made for it?
Huh?
Was there a proposal?
Yes, there was an application put in. It was submitted by Park and Recreation.
Yeah, so the this proposal was submitted and we deferred so that we can figure what is it called? Speak to our attorney about whether or not we should or we could fund that, and an explanation was given. I'll defer to him to get specifics just so that I don't misquote, but he did let us know about how or about that item. Do you remember or do you recall it was a public infrastructure deal that you kind of explained to me that it wasn't within on the district's?
I'm trying to recall the meeting where that occurred, but I believe this was for public infrastructure restrooms, and I think the district decided that it was not within its purview as a healthcare district to fund the construction of restrooms.
And was there a vote taken? Because
Funded restrooms before.
There wasn't a vote taken.
okay, so then yeah, so there needs to be a formal vote taken before you deny or allow something. That's just the way things roll. So you just can't say, well, you know, the attorney said no. You have to take a formal vote, and I can't because I thought it was going to be on this agenda because there was no decision made at the last meeting. So I think it needs to go on your next agenda. Whatever you need to do. Because I mean, I don't know if you've ever been down there and the porta potties after a while, that's a health issue. They're not the safest things, you know, to go in there. You know. I don't know how he can say that and it's not infrastructure. I mean, because you don't even have to build anything because you can buy the ones that are modular and you just drop them in. You're not building anything. Thank you.
I will heavily consider what we as a board will heavily consider the way to go about that, whether it's coming up with a more clear explanation for the public or coming back and you know, taking a complete vote. But it'll have to do at the next meeting for sure.
If I just remember that amount was what, 15,000 you said? Santiago.
Scott Robertson, 1057 Mill Street. I'd like to echo what Mr. Oseguera said. It's a really important topic, restrooms at Pioneer Village. Would love to see a clarification in writing, your bylaws. I looked on your website, looked at your bylaws. I didn't see anything. I'm not a lawyer, but I think many concur that they don't see the actual prohibition on infrastructure for a park being funded by the Selma Healthcare District, especially when the funding request is for something so obviously health related as personal hygiene related restrooms. So I look forward to the board's reconsideration on that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just a minute. Would this, Would the city be willing to help with this project also?
Maybe, but we're at a healthcare district meeting tonight, so I would love to see the healthcare district take this up. And perhaps if the city saw that, it might even help, smooth the way for the city. The city has already applied for a grant for restrooms at the Pioneer Village. They don't know if they've gotten it yet. So the city is doing its part too, but as you know, it's really expensive and it's an ongoing need. So anything that, we can do as a city, and I consider us all city, the special districts, the city, the school district, I consider us all one, and we need to work together to make these parks that we all enjoy a better and healthier place to attend.
Okay,
Thank
thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other public comments at this time?
Brian Ramirez. I currently serve on the Parks and Recreation Board as well. That was one of our main issues and topics. That was actually our number one topic, that the restrooms needed to be improved. They're okay for now, but we have the Hano concert out there. We have the Dia de los Muertos. People rent it out for quinceañeras and weddings and parties. So as Mayor Robertson said, it's really needed in the city of Selma because we all use it one way or another. We either go there because we know we go to Tejano, we go to this, we go to that. So it's highly, highly needed. I believe it's in the $100,000. There was a T-Mobile grant that was the city applied for, but we're not sure if we're going to get it or not. So any help is needed. Again, like I said, it's crucial. It's highly, highly needed. So I would greatly appreciate it if you guys reconsider. Thank you.
I just want to say
Thank you.
something. I just don't see how that's issue with this board is we funded bathrooms before. We actually funded one at the Selma Little League, the one that's behind the snack bar. So we put that one in. We paid for that. Yes, we did. There's a plaque that says it's built, it was from us.
And so I think it is possible for the healthcare district to fund certain projects such as that one. It's just the way our policies are written at the moment would
change
violate
it.
our own, but we are able to go in, excuse me. We are able to go in our own governing documents and vote on the way our funds are distributed and to organizations and such. So it's not that we can't completely, it's just that we can't, it would be in our best interest to follow our policies at the moment rather than diving in without having a policy to follow. So then we wouldn't be transparent to ourselves, essentially. So in looking at our governing documents and going back, we are basically reconstructing or coming up with better ways to accommodate either projects such as those restrooms or ongoing projects as well. So coming up with, moving forward, coming up with a budget, at our next meeting for a fiscal year, and also relooking at our policies and the way we give out money at the moment is going to be, is going to determine and open the door for a lot more opportunities such as that one. So rest assured we are working. It's just at the moment we would go against our policies doing so.
Change.
Is there any other public comments at this time? There's not any online? Ready. We'll move on to potential conflicts of interest. If any board members have a potential conflict of interest, they may now identify them and recuse themselves from discussing and voting on the matter. Are there any? Nope. Okay. Approval of past minutes. We don't have any past minutes right now to approve, but we will hopefully at our next meeting. Information items, financial update. This is just an update, just so you know, if there's any financial update.
Okay, financial update. So in February of 2026, our balance was $500,005, $274.70. I made a deposit on 2/26 of $125,967.30. That brings us up to a balance of $630,967. Okay, so I wrote out two checks, one for our Sederma membership, check 1774, invoice 83554 for $1,358, and one check for our attorney fees, check number 1775, invoice 501497 for $2,436.40. So roughly our current balance is just a little under 630,000. No, yeah, 630,009. No, around there, minus those two checks. So that's our balance right now.
Thank you.
I have a question. At the last meeting, nothing was submitted for the financials. Did you bring the financials from the last meeting?
No, I don't have to bring the financials for a special meeting. This is an update.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay. We'll move on to the Lucas Device and CPR certification program update by Selma Fire Department. Joey, did you have that?
Board in Selma Healthcare District. Daniel Diaz, Division Chief of EMS here with you from Selma Fire Department. Just wanted to give you guys an update on our CPR program and our Lucas device deployment. And in addition to that, tie into our proposal for renewing our CPR program for this upcoming year, and then an additional order of Lucas devices. So we can go ahead and start. I have some PowerPoints. Okay, I got it all up in my head, not a problem. We're good to go. We're going to keep rolling. So with our CPR program, we were able to provide the program to 58 residents of the Selma area, the city residents. And with that, we had one class in Spanish. We did 7 classes in total. We didn't do the 8th class due to an oversight on my part. So the AHA, every 5 years, they renew their materials. So every 5 years, they update it with, current information. So with that, we had to purchase new books and new teaching materials. And the cost of that was roughly the difference of, I believe we put in for 72 CPR cards and we only used 58. So that balance covered those costs. So we used pretty much every dollar to the penny of the funding from last year to kind of keep us going to this year. And with that, we did those 7 classes. We did 3 events. We did the fireworks display on July 3rd. We did the National Night Out, and then we did the Raisin Festival as well, where we did hands-on CPR for the public as well, which was a big success. So we are asking to renew that program. And the cost of that is roughly $5,333.78. And there is an increase from last year due to the price of CPR cards going up. So I believe last year the card were about $23.50. Now AHA is charging $26. Their prices go up, our prices go up. That's just how it works. So we are asking to do that this year. And I would like to make one request. I know in the past 2 years, 3 years, we've been teaching these classes. We've only been teaching to Selma residents. We've been approached by a few local businesses inquiring about these classes. They see them online and we tell them, hey, no, it's only for Selma residents. Even though they work here in Selma, they don't live here in Selma. So technically that grant is not for them. But we feel as a department, and it'd be beneficial to have people that work here in Selma be, under those, get that training, because they have residents of Selma inside their businesses performing business on a day-to-day basis. So the more people we could teach CPR that would affect, our residents here in the city would be beneficial, we feel. So we were asking maybe one of those classes that we teach, one of the 8, we offer to a local business here in town. So if there are residents going through there and there is some type of medical emergency where CPR has to be performed, they're trained and they're able to do that. If not, we can keep it the way we've been doing it with our residents, which we've had a really good turnout. The year before, I believe our numbers weren't consistent because we didn't have that deposit. Now that we have that deposit procedure in place to where people turn their $20 and they pick it up. We've seen a definitely an increase in percentage of people that show up for these classes, which is good. So that is for the CPR program. That's all off the top of the head. And is there any questions from the board?
How much did you say the new CPR program's gonna run?
$5,333.78 roughly. That's for another 8 classes. And then we've already purchased the books for next year with last year's funding.
Okay. Is that being proposed?
The proposal, he'll be able to come up and do the proposal stuff later. He's just reporting on last year's
Yeah.
program right now.
Gotcha.
So yeah, and as far as the Lucas devices were a really, really big impact to our city and our citizens. So we ran some reports from last year and the year since we've implemented these Lucas devices. I believe they went into service May 1st. And I ran the data from May 1st to December of 2024 and compared it to the same time frame to 2025 when the Lucas device got implemented. So there it is. 1 second, we'll pull that up. Oh, no, not it? No, we're good. I'll probably be done by the time we get there. It's okay. I got all the information up here anyways. So with that, the percentage of ROSC, which is return of spontaneous circulation, or where we got pulses back without the Lucas device in the span of 7 months was about 6% is how many times we got ROSC or where we got pulses back in a cardiac arrest. With the Lucas devices, that same amount of time frame, it went from 6% to 18%. So it tripled pretty much. And then year to date, I think we've had another 3 or 4 ROSC, return of spontaneous circulation patients that we've had in the field since January to today, which is huge. Those numbers have, definitely impact our city. And we have yet to have a success rate where we had somebody walk out of the hospital, but at least we know that this machine is working and we're getting those pulses back. And at least we're getting a little bit of time there where we can get these patients to the appropriate hospital. They can receive more treatment rather than our numbers in the past where they weren't even getting to that point. So with that, I do have a proposal with that later, but I can come up at a later time to make that proposal for additional Lucas devices. But those numbers you get something that this council should be proud of because, that affects your citizens tremendously. And we appreciate that. And there's a running joke at the department. Every year we vote for firefighter of the year, paramedic of the year. And the Lucas won firefighter of the year because everybody voted for him because that's how much the firefighters know. Everybody loves it. They save everybody's back, and they do really good work. So I just want to say thank you guys for that. All right, thank you.
Thank you very much. Alrighty. We'll move to action items, micro grant proposals. The first one is the exceptional sports for youth with special needs. Ms. Roxanne.
Okay, there we go. Yes, we are coming before the Healthcare Board again to ask for funding for some of our sport events that we have on this calendar year for the residents of Selma. I do want to thank the council for the board, excuse me, for continuing to support ESYN, which this August will be celebrating its 10-year anniversary.
Nice.
For some of you that may not know who we are, we offer sports and events for anyone impacted by a disability. And we started 9 years ago, and we had maybe 15, 20 participants in our bowling, and now we're up to about between 80 and 100 kids that participate throughout the year. So on our proposal, we're asking for help for registration fees throughout the year for Selma residents. And these are the ones that, the events that we are doing are soccer, bowling, surf camp over in Morro Bay, dance, hip hop classes. We did go to United Skates in Fresno this year, Spirit Horse Farm Days, and then some adaptive soccer balls.
Awesome. Does anybody have any questions?
And bowling. And bowling.
And bowling.
Does anybody have any questions for these ladies?
I think it's a great program.
Thank you.
I know the parents really appreciate any type of registration fee help that they can get. Some of our families, they have more than one special needs child. So when you have multiple fees you have to pay, they really appreciate any scholarships that they can receive.
Coming from a parent that has a child with special needs, they didn't have this program back when she was in school. And I think it's wonderful that you're doing this because these kids, there's a lot of things that they can't do.
But there are a
And
lot that
this-
they can do.
Yeah, and this gives them the opportunity. And I commend you a lot for what you're doing.
Thank you.
I was just gonna say, just a big thank you to, you being so, elaborate in your presentations and giving, and the information you give us, especially making sure to designate, when you go and, that the people that are you're using this money for are specifically here in Selma. So that helps us out a lot when determining, whether or not to grant funding. And then also, always providing your 501c3 status membership. That's amazing too, because I go on a wild goose chase to find these sometimes, and you guys always provide them. So thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Is there any other questions or discussion items? Doing any motions? Yeah.
Make a motion to grant the 4,988.16.
Ready? There's a motion and a second to grant the $4,988.16. I guess I'll have to take the vote, so. Ready? Let me make sure I'm getting everybody right, before I take the vote. Yes, you can discuss.
For the public.
For the public? Yeah, I usually would call for a vote, but there is also just time for discussion for the public as well, since we made a motion. Was there any, board discussion before voting? No? Any, members of the public that would like to speak on the item before the vote? No, if there's none, then, I'll call the vote. That's all right. Treasurer Gallardo?
Yes.
Member Avalos? Yes. Board Member Alanis?
Yes.
And then myself, yes. All right. Motion passes. The proposal is granted the $4,988.16. Righty. Is there a representative, or we'll move on to the next one. Is there a representative for the Selma Babe Ruth item that was, yeah.
Good evening, members of the board. I was here, I submitted this last year, so some of the stuff is a little outdated, the price is outdated. And actually that machine was a 23 model that we were requesting to get. So I have the updated one here for the 2026 edition, and it's actually $200 cheaper. So I'm here because I want to get a grant for a pitch machine that would be very beneficial for our program. Currently, we have players or coaches throwing bullpens to the teams. They can throw anywhere from 100 to 300 pitches a day during practices, and that's a lot of wear and tear on some of the older coaches. And it can also be dangerous for the players that are batting, because if we have a kid that's throwing pretty hard and one gets away, it can hit a player. So I know that happens during the games, but if we can avoid it during practices, would be ideal for us. So this machine that we're getting is really accurate. I just borrowed one similar for softball that pitches underhand for the girls. And everything was down the middle. So there's no fear for the players, especially the ones that are coming up that are getting first taste of baseball. So they're not afraid of the ball. So we can instill some confidence in them. So this machine will pitch from 20 miles an hour to 104 miles an hour. And I know you guys think 104 is a lot, but now these kids in high school, they are throwing 97. We have a kid in Kingsbury that's currently throwing about 97 miles an hour. So if we can get our kids to see that velocity at a consistent pace down the middle, then we can get some confidence when we face teams like that. So currently the price for this machine is $45.95. I can give you guys a copy of this. That way you guys have an updated one. But if you guys have any questions for me.
And you have the balls, all the balls to use that.
No, we'll provide the ball. We'll get the balls. I mean, I go out and still get sponsorships, but like I said, I know you guys have a $5,000 limit, and this thing is 4,500. So I mean, I appreciate anything you guys can do for us. Baseballs, like we'll buy them, we'll get sponsors for stuff like that.
Okay. The only question I had was, I couldn't find a current up-to-date deal on your 501c3 information. The latest I found was 2022. Do you by chance have your filing for like the very last year?
Well, they told me it was good for 3 years. So I mean, we send in our
It's like a renewal.
our tax stuff. Yeah, but yeah.
Tax stuff. If you could, so given, say we do fund this deal, you'd be able to provide
Yes.
that stuff. That's all I'm asking, is just because we've had it before where there are paperwork's filed to a certain year, but we just had to get the renewals. It was even here at City of Selma, so
Okay.
we just got.
Yeah, no, we have all that stuff. So.
Cool. Appreciate it. Any
Did you-
questions?
Did you by chance know how much the balls run, just offhand?
So
Yes.
we pay $76 per dozen for the baseballs. And this machine throws regular baseballs. It throws the dimple balls. Dimple balls are more for like if we're playing out with bad weather, we don't want to mess up the balls when they get out there. It also throws softballs, and for some reason, if we need to throw tennis balls at the kids, it'll shoot tennis balls also. So it does. This is more of a all-in-one machine, and it's cheaper than the other one. And parts are easier to get for the 26 than the 23.
Are there any other questions from the board? Do we have any comments from the public? Nope. Nope. Okay.
Don't you guys print out agendas for the audience so that people can follow?
There was a few. I think they all.
They're all,
There's a lot.
okay. Okay, thank you.
Apologies.
It's okay. Don't worry about it.
My bad. There's no other, what is it called? Comments from the public on this item? Ready? I'll entertain any motions or.
I'll make the motion for the 4595 for the pitching machine. There's a additional 405 left for the 5,000. I mean, if he can use that to get balls, then that would be your 5,000 total. And you just provide us an invoice for the balls. I mean, we could, that way they get their mini grant.
Okay.
I mean, I'm just saying, that's something that's optional, but I'll make the motion for 4595.
Okay.
That's one I
Did
have.
you want to designate you'll So instead of just the 495, you can say the full
Full 5,000,
1,000.
and then you provide a receipt for the remaining 405 invoice for the balls you need, whichever ones you want to pick.
Okay. Okay, so the motion, as moved and seconded, it is to grant a full $5,000 micro grant for the pitching machine, and then additional items such as balls to use with that machine. Is there any discussion from the board?
And you'll be taking care of it, it's secured, it'll be secured and you'll be,
Yeah, it's locked up inside the building.
okay, awesome.
Awesome. Alrighty, I will call for a vote. Treasurer Gallardo,
Yes,
Member Avalos,
Yes.
Member Alanis.
I say yes, contingent on you providing the proper documentation. When do you think you can get that to the board?
The nonprofit paperwork?
It'll be given contingent on your
soon as you
501c3
provide.
status, but as long as you provide it, so.
Right. Yeah, I can
Regardless.
go online and see if I can print it up, so.
Okay,
So give me, do you want to put a deadline when that is?
So from the day that they're granted it on here, he has until basically, I don't think there's a sunset date except for the full year. But they have a year to collect the a grant that is what is it called? Granted, I guess. They have a year
That was
to
approved.
yeah, so it's approved. It's just contingent on them supplying their and that's legitimately that's for everybody. So if someone's 501c3 status is
Then-
not current, then we'd ask anybody any organization that as well. So yeah, so you've got a year. It's just there was no sunset date. It's just that's how long our deal is to get more funding. So
can I get a copy of that invoice that you have in your hand?
and my last vote was mine. It is yes as well. Motion passes. Righty. Is there
Thank you.
yeah, no problem. Thank you. Is there a representative for the Selma Little League?
Hi, my name is Manuel Almaguer, the president for Selma Little League. This is my first time doing this, so.
Okay.
Sure what to do from here.
Basically, so we received the application.
Uh-huh.
Or the application, when I'd first been given, I think I reached out to Mr. Gray,
Chris, yes.
Chris. And I let him know that, hey, your 501c3 number wasn't on it. It was just a blanket deal. He sent it back to me with that. So the only thing is, just like the others, I do see previous. This is one part. I do see previous registrations for the Selma Little League. It doesn't seem to be, or from what I can find online, it doesn't seem to be current. However, you guys probably have more accurate information than I do. So if you can provide that, contingent upon, say
Yes,
we do
that'd be no
offer
problem.
anything today, just know that that's going to be a contingency to receive the funding. The other thing is, so micro grants are usually at $5,000. And we understand that you did ask for the whole, or for like the project was
Yes.
2,000 and,
Well, actually have,
or 20,000, sorry.
yeah, it's a big.
My bad.
It's a
Yeah, the
big,
whole project was 20, or I think it was 25,000 total for like the whole year and stuff. And there was the fields maintenance, and also there was one other piece. I was trying to bring it up right now.
I can, you guys mind if I bring this up to you guys?
Yeah. please.
Sure.
Mhm.
I have an invoice for
Yeah.
Phil's
Uh-huh.
for the one for lights.
Can you hand it to him, please?
So that paperwork covers all our safety equipment as well. There is a new law that's going into effect next year that's gonna require AEDs for all coaches that are practicing.
You,
So
just really quick, just stop right there. Years back, you guys were approved for those AEDs. You guys received that grant from us.
Well,
We
we-
approved, I know, but they never came to collect the money for that, those AEDs. So, I gotta look to see how far back it was. I'm pretty sure it's way over in a year.
Way over a year.
They didn't come to do that. So I know, they knew back then. So
Okay.
it was awarded back then. They just,
yeah, it's
never
getting
came
closer to
for the
pass
funding.
now. So we're looking at next year that it is gonna pass. So that would require us to buy quite a few of those AEDs
okay, so.
just because of the amount of teams that we have. Our teams do practice in other facilities, so we'd have to have coaches that have them in their bags for the kids' safeties.
How many teams do you guys usually have?
So in our minis, we have anywhere from 7 to 10, depending on the registration year. And our minors, we have anywhere from about 6 to 10 as well. And our majors, we have 6 to 8.
So the new law would require
So
you to
the
have
new
one
law
for
would
each
require-
practicing?
Well, our majors team practices on our facility. And so we have AEDs at our facility, so we don't need them for them. Our minors practice at our facility, but they do split time at the Cal Ripken facility too. So, cause when we
And that would
start,
be the Babe Ruth.
that would be
field.
the Babe Ruth side, but over in the corner. So just because of the time of year that we start, it gets dark and we don't have
Oh,
the
the
lighting.
one way at the corner closest to
Yes.
Rose Avenue, right?
Yes, ma'am. So they are on there, it says they are $1,400.
The AED
AEDs on here?
packets, $1,461
Yes.
each. And you said you have how many? You have some already
So
on
our
facility?
minis, it would be our minis, which would be, right now, we have 7 minis.
Hmm.
And then it would be, so it'd be a total of about 10 to 11.
Okay. And you guys would need 10 to 11?
Have to buy 10 to 11, yes, otherwise they would practice.
On your season. That's for the AEDs, correct?
Yes.
So
And then this is,
it's written in the grant for how, you wrote for all of those in the
I
grant?
did, on that cover sheet that I gave you,
Yeah.
it does say how many teams, the quantity.
All right, and that's the reason why it's so much higher than our normal
Yes.
micro grant, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
So the AEDs, like I said, we need them for next year. We don't, I mean, we have what we need for this year, but the gear also is for the kid safety on there as well.
Yeah. Say that the healthcare district didn't exist. What means or anywhere else would you kind of look for
We
funding?
would be reaching out to the public. And that's what we've been
Sponsorship.
trying doing through sponsorships. We also have to run our league, it's about $65,000 a year. Run the league. That's jerseys, all-stars, getting the kids into extra games and getting their jerseys for all-stars, league registrations that we go through to the Little League, insurance, there's a lot of.
On average, how much is it per child to run the organization? Like from the parents? Like how much would a player pay to?
Registration cost?
Yeah, registration cost.
This year it's $175.
75, and that's across all ages?
So it's across the majors and the minors. The minis are $125. And then we also have a 50/70s that pays $100, one team, which are kind of the in-between kids that can't make it to Babe Ruth yet because they're not old enough, but they're too old to play Little League.
Okay.
We also have a Challenger League for our special needs.
Okay. Anybody have any other specific questions?
I do. So you guys are all brand new board, correct?
Not
All
all
of
of us,
you?
but
Most
about
of
half,
you?
yes.
Half of you. And you guys probably started off with what the last board left you guys. They haven't came to the healthcare board. It's been a couple years. But are you guys aware that that field is owned by the Selma Unified School District?
Um,
So you guys should also know to go to see if you guys get funding from them as well. Get placed on their agenda for the school board meeting and go out there and let them know because they should be helping with that property, that field and everything else. I understand it's a lot to run leagues. People, you guys are out there, you know, your time, parents, getting everything ready, getting opening day. I know it's a lot and then it's a continuous, your summers, you're out there every year and you guys do it for the kids. And these kids need to be active. They need to be playing. And I truly believe that there are times when nonprofits need a little help to get that boost going as we've helped many nonprofits this board. And the Selma Little League is, it's really important for our kids and the parents, for everybody's active, everybody's involved, keep them busy, keep them, you know, being part of a team and growing because you
Build that
start
skill.
with little tinies, right? How old are they? 4 or
Our
5?
youngest, yes, we can have 4-year-olds all the way. So our first division is 4 to 7. And then our
Going.
second division is 8 to 11.
Then
And
they
then our
go
third
off
division
to
is 9
the
to 12.
Caesar. Luna
They go to
over there.
Caesar.
Yes. So it's a revolving, constant work of everybody working together. And there are times when a nonprofit needs that push to keep things going. And I don't have no problem helping the Little League, but you guys need to start going and getting on the agenda for the school board meetings and letting them know, you know, this is their property, this is, and take the parents and everybody who you need to take because they need to start helping too. You know, I don't think they've ever helped, right? I don't think they've ever helped over there, and that's sad. That's our school district. That's,
And so
you know, the board, people on that board should clearly know that they should be helping where they own that property.
it's
I'm not
always been-
mistaken,
it's always
they-
been on the board.
I know you guys came to the city with the city council, gave you guys what, $1,500 or something to that nature was it last year or? And you know, I absolutely agree. It takes a lot, but to keep this going and you have to keep updated with all the current laws of safety and having everything because then you can't run the league without people being certified. CPR, AED,
That
that's
goes- and
important.
that goes through all our coaches as well, the training.
Yes.
All our
that-
coaches, assistant coaches, our board members, they all do background checks. They all do the
Yes.
CPR. They all do the
Mhm.
AED training. They do concussion training. So it's a lot of work for the volunteers to come out and actually volunteer.
So with this invoice and the invoice that you handed over to the chair, your total amount is $27,899.02. That's what it comes out.
So for that, we should probably deliberate between us, whatever, if anybody has like, just so everybody understands, anybody can make a motion at any given point. Discussion there is afterwards, or we can discuss right now until we come up with a motion at all, if any. So
Requested what, 25, you said, or 20?
it was 20,000 on the original deal. And then he brought specific details of what the,
I know
I think
all this
10,000 of it was.
catcher's gear, all these are all protective equipment for kids when they're on the field. They
One
need
of them
all
is a
this.
pitching machine,
Uh,
funny enough,
Well, I mean, we're giving, theirs is 16
the lightings. Oh, it's a pitching machine.
safety net. Those are required, the floor and ceiling. Right here.
These are items.
those colored ones? Babe Ruth.
Yeah, Babe Ruth.
Babe Ruth is where they all go once they get older, the little leagues.
That's a smaller pitching machine.
It is a smaller pitching machine just because of the kids are,
Yeah,
they're only
it's like a-
12.
Everybody has a different pitching machine.
Nobody approved for them is pretty sweet.
But the season's already starting. They're already taking registrations. So that's something you guys need to understand there. This is his first time.
Well, I'm looking at this and you're right. The school district should be paying for,
School district.
the school district should be paying for, the 8,400.
Yeah,
would
but
like
are
that
they? And
for
they've already started their registration is what I'm saying. That's why I'm letting them know that they have that option to go in front of the school board to let them know that, you know, they should be helping.
The 8,400, I think should be deducted. The 1,600 for the lights should be deducted. The dirt for the 2 fields should be deducted.
When do you guys have opening day
21st.
of this month? And does anybody know when the next school board meeting is? It just passed. Okay, well, so it's probably not gonna be anytime soon then.
You could always reach out to the superintendent for that amount. He might talk to the board about it.
Is there any way of getting the micro, anything micro?
I think
We're still
for
discussing.
but in my head, I'm thinking one, those AEDs, that's a no-brainer. I believe we should definitely help at least in some capacity to make sure those are there. Since they're all on this, and they were all on the ask, we could go down and say, hey, we will pay for certain things. We will pay for, certain items. Although we are going over we'll just be in mind, we are going over our micro grant amounts. If it's for a safety reason and we can, as a board, say, hey, it is a safety reason concern. We're trying to get them compliant with certain laws that will be in effect next year. I don't see, I can't see anybody coming to us saying, hey, you went over your micro grant proposal for this and being upset at that. Although I can't speak for everybody. That's just my opinion. I would be comfortable going over to make sure those AEDs are covered. I wouldn't be comfortable going over to make sure the dirt or the fields and stuff. As much as I would want to support, I'm not supporting with my own money. This is the community's money. And I would want to run into the school district and say, hey, this needs to be done tomorrow.
And we will take your advice and do that. For sure.
That's what I would want to do.
I appreciate the advice. And
I
we will do
really
that.
wish I would have got on that board, but I did not, unfortunately. I would need to.
How do the fields look right now? Are they doable
They're
for opening
doable,
day?
Manageable, yes. Yeah, we ended up, we had a couple of our board members, a couple of coaches show up and we loaded up, free dirt from our cemetery and brought it down, so we were able to fill in where we needed to.
That the other day?
Yeah.
I was watching, I was like, I think they're doing something over there.
Yeah, so it was, it was great, so.
Okay.
Okay, so we're not wanting to do the field. We're not.
If, I was gonna say, where's
That
that
leaves,
item?
that leaves 17,89802 for.
What is you have that? Okay. So you were sub deducting from the full, everything that he had just brought forward, right?
Yeah, I'm willing to pass whatever they need as long as they go to the school district.
Yeah.
And we're saying we're gonna deduct what we don't consider part of health and safety from the 20,000, not from the receipts that he turned in, which is 27,000.
Yeah, I would say as agendized, the item is listed as a $20,000 proposal. I know there's been some discussions with regards to some additional materials that you have. But the funding, the micro grant funding policy has a cap of 5,000.
Okay, so I'm okay, this is just my opinion as as a board member, not as the chair or anything, or trying to say anything. I would be, okay, saying, hey, we should help them with their AED deal and making sure that they have them for this upcoming year, which that they're only asking for 2 in here. But from what I hear, I think they need more than that.
Yes.
So I'm okay saying, giving them a grant specifically for those with that, and then a micro grant, or basically an amount of 10,000, the micro grant they asked for, and then an amount that basically gets to about $5,000 to buy the 4 units that they need for the AEDs. And
I don't know if you could do that. It needs to be submitted.
So
Right?
that-
We can do
in
it.
my
We
head,
just
I'm
need to vote on it.
deducting- I'm taking out, or this is what my basis is. The micro grant specifically for their gear and the pitcher's machine and all those specific deals is something that I'd be willing to fund them for the micro grant at 5,000.
Yes.
Those AEDs to me are a little bit of a, hey, this is something we need on top of whatever our micro grant was. It was submitted all at once. A little bit of direction was given. I don't think I had the capacity to go back or to like continuously go back and say, hey, I need this, I need that. We don't have a secretary at the moment, but I did my best to make sure at least that the organization understood they needed their 501c3, and they gave me everything that was necessary. For that, I would think we'd be able to at least help out with some of those AEDs, and then the $5,000 towards their programming equipment that they need.
How
That's
much,
that's
how
my
much is it total for
opinion.
the AEDs? What does it come out for what they actually need, not what was submitted?
It's a little over 5,000. It's 5,844 for 4 units.
And that's what you would be needing, 4 units, 4 AEDs, correct?
We would need 10 units.
10?
10 is the total 10. And they would have had, I don't remember exactly how many, but case of 10,
That's $14,000, $14,610 for 10 of those units.
and
And those come with basically everything you need for a stationary
so
AED.
14,610, and then those are for the AEDs, all 10. And yes.
Right here. They come with the case, they come with the carry ones. And in my head, it's the reason you need them is so that the coaches carry them with their
Right.
gear, correct?
They
Yeah,
have to.
And that's going to be required next year?
Be required next year.
Next year, as in when? January of next year?
So our season, we start registration in November,
Yeah.
and then our season would start again in March. Our opening day would be March 1st, or March
Next-
21st.
season.
Next season.
Next season, yeah.
So why can't you bring the grant in for the AEDs for next season? And then we fund what we can with the 5,000?
Be awesome. Yep. Be great.
Well, if you guys got these AEDs, who are you getting trained by?
So we do an online training through,
Okay.
through the Little League.
Okay, got you.
I think that would be your best choice is to get you more bang for your buck. And then you can come back, because every year you can resubmit a grant. So instead of like pinpointing, oh, we're going to do this when you need everything, let's get you what you need right now to get going. And then next year come back and resubmit another bid. And then it's up to the board to.
That would be this paper without the AEDs then.
But then you have to consider too, what if something happens on the fields for the kids and you really need that AED there and you guys were trained to use it?
But you guys have one in the other
Thing, I mean,
office, right?
Yes, we
Yeah.
have one on site.
Okay, so you're okay until next year.
one.
Yes.
Okay.
I was gonna say,
Okay.
how many do you have right now? Because you said that there was two different
We have-
facilities. You have them
We
there?
have one. So our facility is on, the two fields are right by each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, right across. Yeah,
Yes. So we have one,
just one.
just one.
Okay. You had a comment, Letitia? Okay.
Yeah, public comment.
Oh, we'll allow public comments at this time on this item.
Excuse me, Rose Robertson, 1057 Mill Street. I'm listening to one of the board members, Rosemary Alany, stating that she agrees and it should go to the the Selma Unified School District Board. During the time you were a school board member, did you ever remember 2020 to 2024? Or the time you were a board member, did you ever allocate any money to the Selma Little League that you guys owned at the time when you were the school board member that you remember? Off the top of your head, do you ever remember trying to help the Little Leagues at the time you were a school board member?
If the Little League would have came to the board.
Okay, so
we
that's a
would
no.
have tried
Okay.
to help
You
them.
could have still put in a proposal yourself to help the kids. From what I remember, you guys, the Selma Unified School District is not really, never wants to really help any of the kids with their programs. So I'm very aware of what school board members are doing with the money. So I just wanted to make sure you're going to be accurate on that. And then just to go back quickly, can you go back quickly to the lights, on their lights? I just want to see the amounts that they're charging them for and the company they're going through.
The
I
lights
believe
are,
the company
Brian
is
and
is it
Son out of
Reed?
Fresno. Oh, that's for dirt. I'm sorry. Wrong one. It's, Wolf.
Oh,
I'm sorry. It's Wolf Signs and
The-
Lighting
the dirt, as you're saying, but you got free dirt.
out of Reedley, California.
You got, because just so everybody knows, the Selma Cemetery gives free dirt to anybody. Yes. Okay, so what is this right here? This is for signs?
No, they're for lights,
Lights
the
up,
light bulbs.
Light bulb.
The light bulbs. Okay, did you guys get any quotes with some of the Selma electricians here? I would recommend you guys probably check with some of the electricians here in Selma, see if, what they would probably quote you guys on that.
About
Also, I
45
just want to,
seconds Left, so just be aware.
I'm sorry?
You've got about 45 seconds left of your
Okay.
time. I won't.
Anyways, I'm just in agree of trying to get all these kids physical activity back, regardless on what kind of sport it is. Thank you.
You. Who else?
Thank you.
Hi, I just wanted to make a comment. Liz Fletcher, Community Services Director. With the whole AED law that's going to be going into effect, it's not going into effect until January 1st. And part of the requirements for that is for an AED to be on site. So it doesn't necessarily have to be with the coach. And so I think that this is going to be a bigger, broader discussion that we're going to have citywide at our local parks. And so I think in order for them to receive some funding today, I would step back from that conversation with AED. That's probably something that we're going to bring back. Again, that's just my personal opinion because all of our leagues are going to need it, not just them. And so I think ideally the idea and the conversation is going to be to supply these at our local parks with a locker key or, you know, in some form where everybody that is coaching has access to it in case of an emergency. So that was just my tidbit. Thank you.
Like you're reading my mind, Liz. I was gonna ask you.
Okay, so then the city might be able to provide some of that.
Brian Ramirez, I just want to echo what Rose Robertson said. It's very unfortunate and very sad that that wasn't brought up to the community, the Little League's attention, because all of this could have been avoided because they could have known since, years ago, and all of this could have been avoided. All of this headache, all of this, you have these poor people here trying to, just make miracles happen here for these kids. Not just these kids, but kids that are out there in their community. And it just takes one board member to speak up. And I think it's just so sad. We have to rely on the cemetery board for dirt. Seriously? Like how sad is that? I mean, kudos to them. We appreciate it, but it shouldn't have to come to that. And this is why I started coming to these meetings and I started getting involved in our community because, it's very important. There's a lot of people here right now. So I wanted to just make it very aware that we need to all start getting involved and just bringing awareness and just fighting and just being there for the next generation because that's what we're about. I know that's what I'm about. My heart's in the right place. And it's very unfortunate that some people's heart isn't. Thank you.
Was it last year or the year before? We were at a baseball game with my grandson in Reedley. They had just got their AED, and it wasn't a player that went down. It was one of the players' fathers. And so those AEDs are much needed, not just for players, but also
For everyone.
spectators. Okay, they're very important.
Were there any other public comments on this item? Nope. Back to the board for discussion. I think
We're
we
not
should
doing
hold
the
off on
AEDs
or
right now.
In my head, I think we should hold off on the AEDs just because since it's gonna become mandatory. Liz was saying that they're gonna probably look into that citywide.
About that itemized list.
But the itemized list too now. These are the items that were requested.
So the lights, they're not getting, and the gardening, they're not.
Why can't we just approve the grant for 5,000?
With the
This
same
amount
what the
is
five.
For all this, with the exception, let me see.
And we're just calculating and making sure we do it correctly because we have to
Look,
designate
He gave
when we
this
do give a
invoice
micro grant, what the micro grant money is for.
17,898.02 minus
At the Babe Ruth.
minus the Air 29. So no AEDs, no dirt, no lights, comes out to 14,976.02 for the remaining items that are on this list, minus the AEDs, minus the dirt, minus the lights.
Right now, what's off of the list that you gave us, what's the
14,976.
number one priority items that you need?
Off this list, our number one priorities would be,
Then
Okay, who's telling us what the priorities are?
our number one priorities would be our
Does she
catcher's
volunteer
gear.
to do anything out there? No.
I'm sorry, I'm being distracted. What was that?
Our number one items would be our catcher's gear,
Okay,
our batting helmets,
okay.
and
You gotta minus the dirt. Hold on, stand by.
the batting cages.
The nets, right?
Okay.
The nets, the batting nets for the kids.
So how much
So-
is that?
Hold on. I have to minus the dirt. 7,1. No dirt at all, right? No matter where it comes from. Okay, so 7,184 comes out to 14,604.18.
And our bases.
They need catcher's gear. You need batter's helmets. You have to protect the kids' heads.
Yep.
Safety baseballs. Your first aid kits. Your team bag to carry all this stuff or else it's gonna get lost or stolen. pitching machine, the dirt has been minus from the fields. We're not getting that. The base sets, the AEDs have been minused off. Everything else comes out to a total of 14,604.18. 14,604.18. That's half of what the original total amount of everything they need with except that was just the two AEDs. They'll be needing 10 and hopefully they'll work something out with everyone at the time for next year. So that's the rest of the amount of everything else on your invoice comes out to 14,604.18.
Good.
Let me see the itemized list, please.
So I'll make the motion for the 14,604.18.
Hold on, I have a question.
Okay,
What
well,
was
we're
it?
still making the motion.
Okay, go ahead.
So then, just so we clarify the motion is the $14,604.18 for the specific items, that were selected off of the deal. We'll have to, clarify what they are before say this motion passes. It'll have to be clarified the items that it was for. This is still in the motion. Is there a second?
I second.
Moved and seconded. Okay, discussion over here.
What exactly did you say again was your most important?
So
Everything.
everything that's not crossed out, our safety nets, our
Okay,
bases.
hold on. Safety
I don't care.
nets.
I already added it.
Okay. 1579?
Yes,
Mm-hmm. What else?
our bases,
Got that.
pitching machine, our catcher's gear, our
Okay.
batter's helmet, our safety baseballs, because those safety baseballs are used with the minis and the Challenger League.
What did he, which one did he say? The safety baseballs.
Baseballs, our first aid, and our team bags.
Ooh, I come out with 8,012.03. Those are just the what you need right there to get going.
So
Okay,
at the,
hold on.
or where we're at right now is we have a motion for a certain amount, for certain things that they need. If that is your wish, you'd have to move to amend, and then we'd take a vote on your amendment. And it would have to be a second for the motion.
Can we go over our 5,000?
Yes.
Yeah, as we said, they
Here,
are,
as we can.
we wouldn't be following our policy, although the board
can
can
make an
vote to
exception.
do so.
Again, the motion is to grant $14,604.18. It was second by Lorraine. That's
And
the motion.
I'm just waiting if you
Mhm.
wanted to.
I'm moving to amend it to the $8,012.03, which is exactly what he needs if we're able to go over the $5,000.
Is there a second? All right, since there's no second, the motion dies. Let me just make sure we make note.
It's okay.
It's okay. You don't have to. We can see it.
For amount that was $1,012.03.
Mhm.
Chair, if you'd like, just from a procedural standpoint, just to reiterate, there's a motion and a second for the 14,604. There was a motion to amend
18
that
cents.
motion.
Yeah.
And there was no second, so the motion to amend fails. You're now back to
Back to the original motion.
operative
Yes.
motion.
Okay. Yeah, so we're back to the original motion now, to grant, $14,604.18, for the specified items, for the grant for, Selma Little League. Is there any more discussion?
We got to vote.
We got to vote. No other discussion from the board?
No, I have no discussion.
All righty,
To vote.
let's take a vote. Letitia,
Yes.
Member Avalos,
Yes.
Member Alanis?
No.
And my vote is yes.
Hey. Woo. Finally. Okay.
Alrighty. And once
Thank you
again,
guys so much.
still contingent on your paperwork, so please bring that
Yes,
to me.
I'll get that paperwork to you guys. Yep, thank you guys so much. Really appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
See you next year.
Don't forget,
Yeah, those AEDs.
we're all gonna work together. Don't forget.
Alrighty.
Okay. Moving on.
Next item, so those were micro grant proposals. These other items, coming in here so it's intended to be, what do you call it? Board-driven initiatives. They don't necessarily have a specific micro grant. I guess or they're not generated through micro grants. They're more, brought up from the board working with, outside organizations to, go about, funding certain things or creating programs for us to help, the citizens in Selma. So, the first one is a discussion of possible action to approve sponsorship of community meal service at the Christian Cafe in Selma. It's set on here up to 2 times per calendar year, but the amount was originally intended for it's originally intended for about 4 times a year. I don't know if that would make a huge difference, or would it'd be okay if the amount itself is still stated as it was the original amount asked for. But would we be limited to the 2 just because it's agendized that way, or would she be able to clarify?
So going back to the policy, you have, the district board has a grant funding policy that addresses micro grant programs, which are the $5,000 capped amounts. And then the second program is the district-led healthcare initiatives program.
Mm-hmm.
And as the policy is written, the district sets a policy for the year on a certain area that it wants to focus on. And the dollar amount under that can be higher. So I don't know if that answers the question. I'm not sure whether or not it's the board's intention tonight to make decisions on each of these, or to discuss each of these and then decide which area to focus on.
Mhm. So for the sake of not being, or for the sake of not choosing one over the other, I've basically placed them all out so that we can, as a board, see what's being proposed. And then I do think that selecting either one or a couple, within our usual, or I believe our usual practice was about $100,000 a year, in these type of funds, because it was through, I forgot what hospital it was last time, but it was the mental health one year. And it was mental health, and what was the second piece of it? It was I forgot. It was what the hospital name is slipping my mind right now. Was it
Adventist Health in
Adventist?
Hanford.
I keep thinking Kaiser, but I knew it wasn't that. The Adventist Health. So that was, I believe it was 100,000 that we gave to them.
200,000 to be exact.
Oh, yeah, 200,000 over, I think it was 2 years. So with these, they are items that technically fall in more annual deals. So I don't know if we would be able to, besides the last one is a different discussion, but they are projects that fall in, either we can take them on annually, or we could take them on as a specific initiative, such as the mental health deal. The one that I specifically was working on was the youth sports health and wellness stipend. It was specifically for, youth sports in Selma, just because I saw a need and I thought maybe we can do that as our initiative. But it doesn't, or if we did do that, it doesn't technically fulfill or use up the $100,000 on average that we would use beforehand. So I was seeing if it would be normal or normal business to take on like 2 or 3 different initiatives, and then use those budgets that we create for those programs throughout the year, such as the Ride Foundation program, which was up to $5,000 for specific individuals, or the Christian Cafe, which was up to $5,000 for sponsoring certain meals for that organization. Within those parameters, is that pushing the limits of that or that initiative, or would that be something that we could do as a board?
So there's a couple of things going on here, Chair. You have the agenda as posted has each of these items listed with the specific dollar amounts and a summary of what the proposed activities would be funded under that amount. With regards to the policy, again, it's conceptually a little bit different. The policy provides that the board agrees upon one or two general areas and then issues a request for proposals around those areas, and then enters into a partnership to affect those initiatives. So this is a little bit different from the policy as written.
Okay.
I'm sorry, we didn't already vote on this prior, or
Which one?
the Christian Cafe and the seniors? I thought this was already.
So it
done.
was asked in the amount, but we needed to clarify basically how the program would run and how it'd work.
I could tell
before
you
we
how
brought
it
it back.
runs.
Yeah, well, we understood, we just had to present how it ran and stuff.
Okay, do we need to tell the public?
So then, these items specifically would be,
Say if it's
They
the
wouldn't-
healthcare's turn data feed, they get either purchase a meal through the business of roughly around 70 servings. The business gives you the invoice. We pay the invoice, and that would be the one meal provided for that night. Or items can be bought, you get the receipt, you cook the food, because everybody's food handling certified, everybody's good to cook. The meal's prepped for roughly 70 servings. You take those receipts and then you write the check out to wherever you got them. That's how you keep a total up to the 5,000. Is
Think-
what I was assuming.
yeah, so I think what our legal counsel is letting us know is that they don't necessarily fall in micro grant, into like a micro grant technically. They
Okay,
would,
well,
they would fall into a board, like how you're saying, our policy allows for a board-led initiative, like to do it specifically per year. So I was asking if we could come up with one or do like one or two since it is, but he said they really don't fall under that category. I'm sorry.
Chair, if I might clarify, a couple of these do look to fall under the micro grant threshold, or at least, two of them.
Yeah.
So I hope that.
Yeah, I was
clarifies.
kind of speaking broadly on all of them, so I wasn't necessarily saying just that one.
okay.
So I wanted to make sure that we don't go about one of them and then I didn't want to vote on one, make it our board initiative, and then be limited to the rest of them not being able to be a board initiative or annual. I'm sorry, how did you say it in our policy? It says that we can choose one or two. Is it initiatives?
Yeah, they're called district-led healthcare initiatives.
Yeah,
program.
district-led healthcare initiative programs. So I
Under the
didn't want
policy,
to.
That's separate from the micro grants.
Okay, so we can take these as micro grant allotments, the two that are, or I think there's two, and then one that's very close, as a micro grant allotment or a micro grant application as they were.
Yes, assuming that the districts received a micro grant application and all the sufficient documentation.
Okay. All right. So just so we know and clarifying the ones that are coming up, these next two, item B and C, and then also item F,
Item B, C, and F. Item B.
they
C,
are within or close, and that CPR one's
there you see.
a little different. We'll be handling those as micro grant applications, which they were submitted as that, but I wanted to designate between what the board-led initiatives were and what the micro grant applications were. So we'll go over first the Item B item 8B, the discussion and possible action for the Christian Cafe.
Discussing that.
Right.
Arenas?
I propose that we 5,000 and 70 people are people that, you know, they're low, most of them are low income, they're senior. Lies with other people. I've gone, I see it, it's a very good thing to do. And $5,000 grant would be 4 times a year, it'll be quarterly that we do, and they do it on Wednesdays. Giving back to the community.
It's open to anyone who wants to go and have a hot meal. Anyone's welcome to go eat at the Christian Cafe Wednesday nights. So it's just a nice way to say that we can help fund 4 meals a year with some of this money that's in this account. Up to 5,000.
Yeah. And it's not what religion you are.
Yeah.
Anybody can go.
It's
And then with the times that we're having, you know, people are so rough right now. Trying to get, you know, enough to eat, make sure there's food on the table for the kids. You know, this would be a good thing to do.
Alrighty. Any other discussion? No. Okay, we'll take any discussion or any comments from the public.
I just want to say that the Christian Cafe feeds anyone and everyone who would like a meal at 6 p.m. The Christian Cafe right here on Selma Street. So we started as our agency 10 years ago, helping out, maybe between 9 and 10 years ago. We started seeing, I had a conversation there with an elderly couple who stated that they showed up there to have a meal on Wednesdays because it was between a meal or their medication. So this is times where they're able to give back. And right now, a lot of people are a little, you know, behind on bills, and PG&E's outrageous. Everybody's utility bills are outrageous right now. And sometimes you go in and eat a meal and you could bring your whole family. There's families sometimes with kids and they haven't had a meal in a couple days. So we're blessed that we're able to honor them and feed them on, we do it 4 times a year. And again, we've been doing it for 10 years and it's just, it's heartfelt to actually serve them. So it's grown. It's something that it's especially when you see these kids that are happy to eat. So it's nice to see that you guys are willing to look at maybe possibly being a group to go and feed them. You guys know that you order from the restaurants to feed them unless you all have time to cook, because you are the team. The Selma Healthcare District Board is the team. So I think it's an awesome idea, especially right now with tough times. Thank you.
Thank you.
Scott Robertson, 1057. So I would echo what the Cemetery District Board member Robertson said, and add on that your board would be consistent by funding this grant right here, because in the past you also funded, and I was here for that meeting, central air system there. Before, you know, we'd go and serve in July. It's 110, 115 degrees there, and the swamp cooler made it about 107, 106 degrees. So, you know, your healthcare district, you are coming full circle here by funding this. And then if you have a team really part of the community, I definitely commend you for, you know, considering this and helping the Christian Cafe because it's a very worthy cause and it feeds a lot of people. And now it's also a cooling center for the city. So the other cooling center is at the PD. And there are a number of people that don't feel comfortable going to the PD to get cool on days that are extremely hot. And so they go to the Christian Cafe. And so this is a very worthy cause. Thank you for considering it. And I really hope your board will approve this.
Thank you.
You.
Are there any other, oh, go ahead. I can address her on here. Oh, Miss Sylvia, were you wanting to make a public comment? Go ahead and unmute yourself. There you go. I believe we should be able to hear you. Can't quite hear you yet.
Maybe she can't hear us.
You should be able to hear. Our sound is going through.
Hello.
Miss Sylvia, are you, you seem to be unmuted, but we can't hear. She's unmuted. Not sure. She's unmuted. On here at least. She might be muted on her phone. That's the only other thing that I can think of.
Sylvia, can you hear us? Maybe she can't hear us. I don't know.
Did I call her?
Oh.
Is it? Or I don't know. No.
Oh, okay, well, let's just go because
Okay.
my mom.
If she comes in and speaks, so I'll if she gets back on there, Joey, just let me know.
Stella Ramirez, I'm a resident. I just want to piggyback off of what was said earlier. I think that this is awesome for our community. I have myself have volunteered there a couple of times, and we have people, elderly people coming in. We have veterans coming in, children coming in, and I think this is a good place for them to come and have a hot meal. Because like it was said earlier, these are tough times for some of these people. And this is just something that's really good for them to go to, have a place to go to. And like what was said earlier as well, it doesn't matter what religion you are, doesn't matter what race you are, anyone is welcome. So I think that this is an awesome, opportunity to continue this, to keep it going. So that's what I just wanted to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any more public discussion on this or public comments? No. Any board discussion?
A motion for the 5,000.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to grant the $5,000 to serve meals at the Christian Cafe. Treasurer Gallardo,
Yes.
Member Avalos, Member Alanis,
Yes.
and myself, yes. Ready,
Good.
we'll be doing that.
Yay.
Alrighty. We'll be moving on to item C, discussion and possible action on establishment of a sponsorship assistance program for eligible individuals to receive services provided by the RIDE Foundation in the amount of $5,000.
Hi, my name is Sarah Muskis. I'm the founder and CEO at the RIDE Foundation. We buy unadoptable wild horses from the Bureau of Land Management, and through their training process, we help people with emotional trauma. We work with first responders, veterans, victims of violent crime, troubled youth, and those in addiction recovery programs. We have recently branched out to Selma. We are an approved vendor for the Selma Unified School District, where we're running field trips for high school and continuation school. So they're bringing the students out to the ranch and we're working with them and the horses for emotional regulation, nonverbal communication skills, and building healthy relationships and communication. We have already been serving Selma Unified or Selma residents. We are in Reedley, but we're about 30 minutes from this location here. So we have been serving a lot of Selma residents as well as Reedley, Sanger, Fresno. We have programs we run in Madera County as well. And so we are looking to either find a way to bring more Selma residents to our current programs, or we spoke about a possibility of starting a program specifically for Selma residents under one of those categories if, if that would help, if the board sees a need for that. I know we sent over all the information and I would love to answer any questions.
How many
you have.
Selma residents do you have currently right now?
So right now we have been serving, the most recently, we have one family of 4 that are coming from Selma. And we have in the past served 10 to 15 throughout our different programs. They're not all coming to one program, but throughout all of our programs.
Okay, you guys have, what is it? I think it's 4 or 5 different specific programs. Can you kind of share share with us what those all help with?
Yes, so we work with veterans and first responders. They're the first group that helps me gentle the horses down and prepare them to work with the other groups. We have our survivors and victims of violent crime group, and those are different individuals that have either experienced sudden loss or survived a traumatic experience. We also have a recovering addiction group, so we work with My Time Recovery out of Fresno, and they bring inpatient clients out to the ranch to experience the way we work with the horses. Again, our field trip programs, we work with Fresno Unified and Selma Unified for that. We also have a veterans group that we run in Madera, as well as foster youth group that we're picking back up. It's a seasonal thing we do out in Oakhurst, so it's also Madera County, but that's for foster kids. And we're looking to expand that foster kids program into the Reedley, Sanger, Selma area as well.
Okay.
I have a question. The family of 4, what does that cost from Selma?
So they're coming to a program that's funded already. Our Horses That Heal project is survivors and victims group. So I'm not charging them. We're running to the end of this cycle of funding for that specific group. The community doesn't pay for that. It's open to the public. Anyone that wants to come, needs to come, bring children that are experiencing bullying or trouble in school have also come. And so they come to the ranch and work with us, but they're not being charged. We have always tried to find third-party funding for being able to offer these to the public at no cost. The funds are always a hurdle for the community, especially the people that need the help. So by getting these funded third party, it takes that away. We come, they work with the horse, we have lunch. They spend about 3 or 4 hours there on the ranch and make a day of it, basically.
So with your like yearly financials and stuff like that, what does it usually look like in terms of cost to like keep the ranch up, or feeding the horses, feeding the people when they get there, and to keep those programs running? About how much money a year do you need to successfully serve the people that are coming on a free basis?
Our annual budget is right around 150,000, and that takes care of basically everything. Every year we're going up. So last year in 2025, we were able to support 523 families in the community. And that was up from the year before. We were only at 470. So every year it's more and more. This year we're looking at least 180,000 for our budget. But as of last year, for that 523 families, we operated on a $150,000 budget.
Okay. In terms of the programs, so the way that something like this would have to work is either the amount of money that we sponsor or give would have to go directly to citizens who live within our district, the healthcare district, which is basically Selma and like a very small portion of Parlier. Would it be best if we created a specific Selma program or had individuals who wanted the services apply for those funds that we say set aside for them?
I think either one could work well. More specific for each individual, they could go into whatever program suited them because the terminology and some of the things are different from a recovery group to healing from violent trauma or violent crime. So I would think that for the Selma individuals to pick what program, and then it would be like a sponsorship, like you would be sponsoring that individual through whatever program they chose.
Okay, and then with the $5,000 that our micro grant covers, about how many families or individuals would that cover?
Asking for 10.
I
That is a
think they
good
redacted the 5.
question. So I would say for each session, an individual, we do them in groups. So it's $500 to run a group up to 9. And that's 3.5 hours and includes lunch. We have coffee and donuts in the morning and then we sit down and have lunch after we're done with the session. And that's for the small group. The large group goes up to $775 and that's up to 20 individuals.
Okay, say or if the board decides to fund $5,000 worth of these sessions, do you believe you'd be able to fill those sessions up, between now and next year?
I believe so.
Okay.
As we ask ESYN nonprofit, they have to provide a list of all residents from Selma and the Parlier that attend their ESYN program. That's how they're funded. Their address, phone number, name.
That's
So
Yeah.
Well, just the name, as long as there's Selma residents in the portion of Parlier, that's how we fund their program.
Yeah, I just wanted to be clear that we would have to basically sponsor individually. We can allot the $5,000 micro grant amount and then individually sponsor either of those groups of 9 or 20, just depending on if you say, hey, I've got a set of 20 people or 20 individuals from a certain deal all in Selma, wanted to sponsor their day up here, and then we'd be able to issue a payment for something like that, as long as the grant, or say we fund this. Any questions or discussion for her at the moment?
Sounds like a great program. Does Reedley help you guys out?
I
Anything?
have not asked Reedley to help us out yet.
Oh, okay.
I haven't went in front of them. This is the first board I've went and stood in front
That's
of
okay.
like this.
We- That's
Um,
just, I mean, it sounds great. I mean, it's it's always great to work with animals, and what you're doing. But this is, taxpayer money for Selma residents, Selma community, and a small portion of Parlier. So if those residents, and you can provide the list, I don't have a problem helping with the 5,000 as long as they falls within our district, those that want to attend that program, those people.
Awesome. Are there any public comments before we entertain any motions?
Is there anybody here? Anybody, kids, veterans, or anybody here that's going to go to this program today? Can I ask, how did you hear about this? How did you hear
about
the
our board?
Selma Healthcare District Board?
Because I just
Perfect. Okay. So I'm a huge animal lover. So I absolutely agree that a horse is no different than dogs and cats, and why years and years ago, the Selma Healthcare District gave money back to the Second Chance Animal Shelter when they were in place. It's now the City of Selma shelter. But there was a lot of kids that were bullied, made fun of. I mean, you name it. And they connected with the animals, and that was the dogs and cats. And also, they also learned to put a little work ethic, how to feed them, clean their bowls, clean their kennels. They also built work ethic. So I'm all for animals helping out kids, now veterans, and all. Absolutely. I'm just hoping that we can get kids and our community in Selma that goes to this program, and we don't start getting other cities, because I know what they need to really do is, with this being such a great program, they should be hitting their cities if they have a cemetery district, because it should apply to that program as well. So that's my comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other public comments? All right. If not, I'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion.
Just want to clarify, you're making a motion to allot $5,000
Yes,
for
I
the,
make a motion to allot the $5,000 to the Wright Foundation.
okay, for
Wait, what is gonna be
individual, or
for Selma
groups?
residents?
For some, yeah,
The
for some
Selma
residents.
only.
Yeah. Well, I'll second that. Just to make sure the parameters so that the board understands, we won't blanket write a $5,000 check to the organization. What we'll do is, when and if yourself, you can send us an email and say, hey, I've got this group of 9. These are their names. They're from here in Selma. Then we establish residency here. It's just a very, very, easy deal there, and make sure that they're here. Then we can fund that
That payment
session.
will be
Right,
issued.
yeah, then we can issue that payment for that session as they go along, up to the $5,000, till the end of the year. So we've gotten from today until next year to basically fulfill those $5,000. Right? Everybody understand?
Yes,
Okay, we'll take a vote.
I'll second on that, what you just said.
I
Oh, you
did
got
the
it?
second, yeah.
Okay, good.
Right, my little deal.
Motion was made by Director Alanis and seconded by you, Chair Rodriguez.
Okay. Alrighty. Director Alanis?
Yes.
Myself, I vote yes. Member Avalos? Treasurer Gallardo?
Yes,
Alrighty. Motion passes.
thank you.
Oh, Matthew,
Yes, sir.
sorry, I just caught a little bit, when the speaker was speaking. Just for clarification for me, was this gonna go through as a micro grant?
Yes. So the micro grant, I forgot, I mentioned earlier, the items that are going through as micro grants would be item B from this list, item C, and then item F. They are submitted as micro grants, but I wasn't sure how to treat them, since there are some that were submitted as micro grants but were above the threshold. So these we're discussing as micro grants. The next item we do come upon is not, is submitted as a micro grant, but the thresholds are the $5,000 unless the board decides otherwise.
Okay. Okay, I'll vote on it when you're ready for my vote.
You don't get to vote.
If I may, Chair, Director, participating remotely is not permitted under the Brown Act as this is agendized, so you can make comment as a member of the public, but not vote.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, you could say you support or not, or some, take a stance on items as a member of the public. But you can't legally cast a vote in our, in the motions.
Okay.
And I'll make sure to try to remember. If not, please, do raise your hand to make sure that you can comment on stuff that we're going by.
Okay.
Okay, we're moving on to item D. Discussion and possible action for the sponsorship of the funding support of the Selma Community Swim Program. If we could,
Hello, members of the Selma Healthcare District. I'm here before you seeking about $11,000 for our community swim program that will commence the first weekend in June. So with that, we did a tentative breakdown of what that was going to look like. So it's about $2,500 for training, equipment, and uniforms, and about $7,500 for staffing. So we do staff the pool Saturdays and Sundays from 12 to 4. And so that allows us to have 4 staff on site during the open swim. With this program, we do not charge an entrance fee for the community swim, and so it's open to the public from 12 to 4 at the Selma High School. So again, we're just here looking for some funding. We did include a $900 contingency plan depending on equipment malfunction or replacement as needed. So right now we're looking for about $11,000 to support the program starting this June.
Yeah, my only question is, equipment that you guys can or use again, just only because I want it free for the people to go swim and be safe.
Correct. There is no fee to enter.
Yeah, no, just so it,
Yes, we are reusing equipment that we did purchase last year, but we are looking at replacing a few items that we have that did receive some wear and tear from last year as well. So, yes.
awesome. Yep. Okay. Good. We funded every year.
So my only question about this is, I remember last year there wasn't a lot of lifeguard applicants, and I'm pretty sure they came back and probably, wanting to do it again. My only question is, throughout the year, is the city able to hire said lifeguards for a program like this? Or is this the only option to run it?
So we do have that as an option. I did build that into our budget this year with the contingency of it being refunded by the Selma Healthcare District. And so I do have some monies allocated to hire, I think we estimated about 6 lifeguards with the contingency of them being fully paid by the Selma Healthcare District. And so with that being said, we are currently working with the Aqua Bears. She is doing her coach hiring right now for their season, and she plans on sending us her coaches as lifeguards this year. So I'm just waiting for that information, and we have already confirmed with a few of our lifeguards that did help us last summer that are willing to come back as well.
The only reason I ask is because the program, it seemed a little like in distress last year, and there's a possibility of not happening. For the lifeguards or any like staff and stuff like that, I would want to look and see if we can find specific funding for that, just because it's not traditional of a healthcare district to provide staffing costs. I am 100% in support of the item as it is, because I love the swim program and how it works with the community and the benefits of it. I just think we should look and try to fund it differently. I guess look for different forms of funding for it. I don't want it to go away this year, and if it's contingent that it's going to go away this year if we don't fund it, I mean, my own opinion is to definitely do it, just because it benefits our community so much and gets them active and their ability to use the pool that we paid a heck of a lot of money for a long time ago. So just
Can't run
keep
it
in mind,
without lifeguards.
I'd like to work with you and maybe looking for a different way to
Solution in the future.
fund the lifeguards specifically.
Absolutely. We can pursue that conversation, but I have no.
There's no way to do it now. I
We
know.
can't
I get
run
it.
it. We can't
Yeah.
run it without
And I also
lifeguards.
I don't think that we're gonna have an issue with lifeguards this year. I think that most of them are gonna be coming back from last year. And with talking with Aquabear, she's pretty confident that a lot of her coaches are gonna want to come in and get that certification and work those extra hours with us. So we should be good.
Are there any questions from the board?
Yes. Have you tried to reach out for funding from the city council?
I have not implemented this in our budget for this year. That is a potential possibility for future.
To reach out to city council for funding?
Correct.
Any other questions? Discussion?
Public comment?
Okay. Any comments from the public at this time?
Okay, so just to educate you, on the swim program, it started in 2014. School board superintendent Mark Sutton came to the city that you wanted requested funding from, and said, hey, we got this pool. You helped us build this pool. We want this to be open to the public, the community, because you know where people learn how to swim a lot? In the canals, and it's really dangerous. So you got this nice pool, Selma High, that the superintendent wanted to open up to the community, but it costs money because you have to have lifeguards, like we're talking about. So for a long time, Swim America, Lori Cladd over there provided the lifeguards. And this healthcare district gloriously provided that funding every year for the lifeguards, you know, for the time, for a little snack bar, to make sure to the maintenance costs with the high school to make sure the swim program worked. So going to the city for the money for a swim program with the school loans, I would say, how about going to the school board and asking them for a little bit of funding for the pool that they own? No one's saying that though, because again, as we had a board member talk about tonight, we're all here not pointing fingers, but we're here to be a team. And, you know, the healthcare district is a great team member of our city. And to help kids swim, it's not just for recreation, it's to learn how to swim as well. It's for special needs kids. It's for the elderly. Remember when Ken Robinson came out and said, hey, did we get a lane for the elderly? This was about 2017 or something. This program's been going on a long time. And this is crucial to our community until we can get a community center. Now, I would support getting funding for a community center that the city runs with a pool, with a wrestling room that the high school's never provided, and with something like pickleball courts and things that we can have. We're looking at that. And soccer, we're getting there. But the swim is crucial, and I really, I thank the board for your consideration. You've been so supportive over the years, and I hope you'll continue to support community swim in Selma. Thank you.
I'm also going to piggyback on the history of that. You know, the citizens of Selma paid $1 million for that swimming pool. And let me tell you, when I was a little girl, I used to be able to swim at that Selma High pool before they renovated it for free. We all got to swim for free. I know things cost money now, but this is lives we're talking about. This is lifeguards. This is something that is very necessary. You know how many people, you know how many, not just people,
And it's hot.
adults, kids are drowning in the lakes because it is so hot here. They
Yes.
just want to cool down somehow. Our swimming pool, matter of fact, you guys should open it. And here we are again, here, whether it's the city of Selma or the healthcare district board. School board member, once again, I can ask Miss Alanese, did you ever want to give money to help keep the pool open and for longer hours? Did you ever come up with a proposal for the
Did you
kids?
ever ask?
I don't need
Have
to ask. You could come up with it,
No,
a
you can
proposal.
ask,
Thank
just like
you.
everybody else. Thank you.
You're a board member.
Thank you.
You guys are board members and you're coming up with your own proposals. Thank you.
Thank you for
It's just
reminding
to
us.
be very clear that you have not helped our community. That is why you weren't reelected for the school board
It's
when you
okay.
were running.
Thank you.
Yes, you were not, and I hope you're not elected again on this board. We need people here who want to help our community. This money belongs to all of us, okay? All of us citizens who have paid property tax. So that we need to be more of a team to help our community, not have that attitude you have. Thank you.
Thank you.
So again, to piggyback off with what the Robertson said, I agree 100%. Again, your guys are elected, whether it's school board, health board, council. Again, we are all city of Selma. Again, we have to come together. We can't have this attitude of, no, or personal agendas. That's not what it's about. Again, this is about the kids. This is about the future. This is about the next generation. So I don't understand why some board members have attitudes and think they own the world and it's all about control and it's all about power. No, keep your head leveled, keep your head attached to your body. It's not about you. It's never been about you. We elected you. Again, the people, the city of Selma. So take that as you will. But again, let's not, I don't want to point fingers, but again, if the shoe fits, so be it. The school board. I don't understand what's going on with the school board because things aren't being done with the school board either. And again, I 100% agree that we need to start reaching out to the school board. We need to start attending those meetings because, I didn't even know they own the baseball field out there. I knew about the swimming pool. So why aren't they allocating money? Why aren't they allocating those funds? Where is that money going to? It's not adding up. So I think we really need to dig deep in there. Thank you.
You. Anybody else?
Yeah, I have
just wanna-
something.
Okay, but before you speak, Anthony, I just want to make sure that when we're speaking about the deal or this topic, it is specifically for this item. So anything that pertains to the item and kind of keep it on the basis of this one. We stretched a little bit. I don't think it went that far, but if we can keep the discussion on the item at hand.
Any more comments?
Anthony?
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree with it. Everything that's been said regards to the swim program. I'm, on the board, we've supported it for many, many years and I totally support it. I'm just concerned that this proposal, the costs have significantly gone up from what we've paid in the past, which kind of, we felt good the last 2 years because we covered the costs for kids. We paid their entry in, but it looks like we're the sole payer on this. And it doesn't look like we're going to be able to pay for the kids' entry if we pay for the whole program. That's just my 2 cents on it.
What do you?
So the entry is free for the community swim. There is no fee for that.
Meeting is we at?
Hold on.
It was the previous company that was assisting us with the lifeguarding that would charge for the entry. And so since we're no longer working with them, we've taken on ourselves that we do not charge for an entry.
Oh, okay. That wasn't
Yeah.
clear on the proposal. I'm sorry.
No worries.
Okay. Does that clarify your question, Anthony? I just want to make sure.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
I was kind of a little disappointed that we weren't going to be able to provide the entry fees this year. 'Cause,
Oh, no, yeah.
costs have gone up.
It's a free program now.
Okay, great.
If we do it.
Got my support.
Awesome. Any other just public comments?
Hi, I'm Roxanne Marshall, 8718 East Mountain View in Selma. I just had a question as far as the hours from 12 to 4. Will there be a set time just for special needs community to come in and swim?
Liz?
Yes, last year we did Sundays 12 to 2, if I'm not mistaken. And so if you have any suggestions on a specific time, I'd be happy to hear it. So it is on our flyer. So it is, we call it just adaptive for special needs. It is not just restricted to them. It is just noticed as we're probably going to have some special need families, but everyone is still welcome. Along with the community. Yes.
Any other public comments? Before we move on, or before board discussion?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, the motion is for the full amount.
Yes, 11,000.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded to provide $11,000 for the Selma Swim Program. Treasurer Gallardo,
Yes.
Member Avalos, and Member Alanis.
Yes.
Myself, yes.
All right, thank you.
Thank
Work
you.
on those lifeguards.
Alrighty. This next item, it was something that I worked on with the Selma Recreation Department. It was intended to be one of our annual initiatives. I don't think I completely followed exactly how our guidelines usually do, but that the intent behind it was to be worked in as a initiative for the year, at least for this year, and then see about see how it goes this year, see about funding it next year, or however the future boards want to do so. So if we could, if I can ask Matt, if you can kind of show.
Speak.
Hello, good evening, everybody. My name is Matt Tiger. I'm the recreation supervisor for the city of Selma. Like Matt said earlier, we were kind of working together on this youth sports participation support program. So one thing that we've noticed in the community, I'm from Selma as well. When we growing up, it was that one thing that youth sports has been declining is because one of the big reasons is cost. And so one thing that we wanted to address was how can we equally lower all the costs for all of our leagues when we have such a varying amount of leagues with different amount of participations, different registration costs. And so we kind of put our heads together to kind of think of a model that'll kind of work all around for all the city of Selma recognized leagues. And so one way we have that is with you guys coming up with a stipend for each program, allocating that with a cap up to 10 to 50%. And on here is their table that shows the different amounts that equal if you cap that out 10 to 50%. To establish that you guys were
Just a little further.
for you guys we need you to set mandatory reporting timelines to make sure that everything's documented well and that all the allocated funds are being used for what they're being used for. Create that transparency. You can review and do the stipend calculation as well as a board. And so the way we do it, it shows it in there as well. But what it looks like is you'll take the total number of participants, their registration costs, and you'll multiply that by whatever your percentage is of what you wanted to cap at. So if it's 10%, you'll multiply that by 0.10, and then you'll get your amount that per stipend per child that they had last year. So all the funding for the upcoming year will be based off of numbers from their most recent season. And so we're not accounting for growth or anything. This is just to help offset the straight registration cost. This isn't for the overhead cost or equipment or anything that we've heard probably today so far. This is just for the families of all the kids that, so this money that the stipend goes to is strictly for their registration cost. And so with just a broad community impact, we have about 1,429 kids that participate in youth sports in all of our leagues, and that's completing our 8 major leagues. And so it doesn't necessarily require more reporting from underprivileged families. This is an automatic deficit to all registration costs right away. And so this just kind of goes more in depth on it about how it kind of is kept above board, how you guys can see where these funds are going, how it's being allocated from. A lot of this is just a guideline because it's your guys' program. And so you guys would set what you guys want as for the reporting deadlines and everything like that. And so what I was doing was helping kind of Matt find a guideline to how to make his kind of vision work. And so for it to be as fair as possible for all the leagues with the varying number, because I believe soccer had 800 participants last year and our smallest program, youth basketball, had 60. And so how do you create a stipend program that's equal to both when those programs aren't equal as well? And so it kind of shows at the very end, you have a table, it kind of just breaks everything down about how much you guys would cover. So if you guys use 10% of the coverage, your total contribution for all 8 leagues over the whole year would be $12,000. And that's helping about $8.96 per kid per registration. And so we kind of laid it out as best as I could for showing what it would be as overall cost for the whole year, including every league at different percentages. Ultimately, everything's up to you guys.
So you're talking half of registration fees for every league. How many leagues?
All the 8 leagues that are recognized by city council for the city of Selma.
Little League, youth soccer, Babe Ruth, girls softball. Is that the
This is
Selma
just
girls?
study, yeah.
Is this the Selma Girls Softball League?
Yes, the one that runs at Schaefer Park.
T-ball. So what you're wanting to do is pay the registration fees half?
So the goal with the program is to figure out as a board, if we want to, one, start this sort of program up. The way the program would work is if an organization comes to us and says, hey, we'd like to use your stipend program next year, we have our data and information that we had, say soccer, 800 and something kids last year, they paid this much. Are you willing to give a stipend for a certain percentage of that? We would have to decide across the board the percentage, just because we couldn't do different percentages for different leagues unless
You scroll up.
it would
sir.
it'd be a little bit
On the next one.
difficult to say that that's equal.
This is where you guys could cap it at. So if you didn't wanted to cover 50% of each kid's registration, you would be covering about $44 per each kid. That's 1,400 kids, so you're equaling about 64,000. And that range goes from 50 to 10 or 50% to 10%. It doesn't have to be an even number. I just did that because it's easy to see, easy
Yeah.
numbers, easy math. And
It
so
also,
it's kind of your guys' decision to run with it. I was just trying to help Matt come up with a guideline for how to make this plausible and equitable and fair.
yeah, so the other thing too is we used the eight leagues that are recognized by the city. However, we do have leagues that are just nonprofit in general. So the program is, we would still be able, what we would ideally do is allot a certain amount of money, and then nonprofit organization, youth sports would be able to apply for that stipend. It doesn't necessarily have to be only the ones that are on this list. It could be any youth sports
Every
in Selma.
sports nonprofit league would be able to be eligible.
Yes, and
to
we would
apply.
this was just to give us a figure of about how much it would cost. And that's why he used the top 8 or the 8 recognized by the city. So to give us an idea of, hey, say we do say 30%, it's going to cost about 38,000, maybe a little bit more. And then considering also, we would also have to consider there are a few, just off the top of my head, like Team Selma, the wrestling, they would fall under the same guidelines that are laid out here to apply for the grant too, or for the stipend as well. So that's laying these out would be kind of laying out the cost.
What would be
And
most
then-
helpful?
And this would be also still contingent on them doing their postseason and preseason reporting to you guys.
That there's a lot of certain reporting in there to make sure that we're not just blanketly giving them out. We're also able to see, hey, if we do give, when they do come and apply, how much is it going to affect their cost per player? So their costs effectively should go down per player. So if we do give a stipend, we would ask them to lower their amount or their cost per player to the parents. So it would be contingent on their pricing as well.
So say registration cost $$45 per player. Then we could cover $45 of every player, or $35 or whatever.
Whatever that percentage stipend would be, you would cap that there. You would do the math, and then that stipend would be specifically for registration. So they wouldn't be able to use that just towards jerseys or anything. It'd be towards registration, signing up kids. So that would take
But
that.
registration fees goes towards everything overall.
Correct,
within the
correct. But
nonprofit.
so that the reason the registration fees help cost recovery, that helps support to pay for all the things in the league, your stipend is doing that. It's just replacing their registration fee. So I'm paying still $100, right? You're just paying that 45. So the registration is still $145.
Right.
It's only $100 for me though.
Yeah, as a parent.
But with the rest of the, okay.
Yeah, it would just be on a percentage basis, so it might be, say we do $120 and we take care of 20%. That would lower it to what, 90-something dollars? So we'd come up with the applicant or whatever organization coming to us saying, hey, if we'll grant you the, 20% stipend for your cost from last year, the number of last year, and then we would allow that or allot that to them at the beginning of the year before the registration, and then they collect whatever it is that we agreed upon with them to collect for that year. So they'd have to agree to a certain amount so that they can't say collect that grant from us and then go charge parents the same amount that they were going to. So that would have to be agreed upon beforehand.
That does happen. Who's gonna be looking at that? Like, okay, they have X amount of players. This amount was issued by the healthcare. Now, gonna be making sure they only charge a certain amount per player.
That'll be
We'd have to
contingent
do-
on their postseason
yeah.
reporting.
They have to do a postseason report if they get granted and show us, hey, this is how much we collected in parents paying registration payments, and then this is how many kids went through the program. So they would come back and show us that they, basically keep us updated on, hey, this is how much your program covered.
We're just discussing this. This is just.
It's a discussion with possible action. We could do something. It's just.
This was just a project that we're kind of working on. And so if you guys think that there's some things that just need to be fixed about it, it could always be discussed internally among you guys or on the board, and then maybe brought back to another time when we have some corrections that maybe you guys want to see made. It's not super pressing. It's just a need that we see in the community and that we feel that we found a way to fill it. But if you guys see that there's better ways that we can do that, I think we all have the ultimate same goal of just making youth sports more affordable for everybody and to get our participation in SELMA up. And so I think it's just finding the best way to do that.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any questions or comments from the board?
I have a comment. I think we should table this for another meeting until we read your proposal, or your information, because we didn't get that on the agenda. We didn't get that as an attachment to go over it, to read it, to digest it.
I sent this one on Saturday, day before, Friday, as a supplemental information packet.
Good idea.
The way we could, or a really good way to go about
Are
this
they
would
still
be
gonna be able to come back and ask for funding though as regular?
technically. Yeah.
Yeah, so this stipend program would be completely separate from your guys' micro grants and everything. And so this would be a completely separate, different stipend fund. And so it would be up to you guys of whether you guys want to take that on in mind. So maybe capping it at like a little bit lower if you're still going to hand out the micro grants, or however you guys want to decide on doing that. It's kind of up to the board's discretion.
Okay. Question for legal counsel. Can we as a board decide a certain allotment for this as a project and then create an ad hoc to go over specifics and then come back and establish that and run with a certain dollar amount? Because the percentages would be random. But if we say, hey, we're going to allow organizations to come for certain percentages to a certain dollar amount, like for the year, like for a year's, or for I guess a season or 1 year time frame, is that something that would make sense to fund a program like this?
Thank you. So just a couple of thoughts. As I mentioned earlier, this proposed program doesn't fall, and I think you acknowledge, doesn't fall squarely within the district's policy. And so with that said, I think you can handle this a couple of different ways. I think the important thing is to determine some of these details about capped dollar amounts to which recipients. And so to the extent did you mention an ad hoc committee?
Yes.
I think that would be appropriate way to work this up to a certain level to where the board can then take action.
Okay. If with the direction of the ad hoc committee, would we have to select a dollar amount right now, or we would just, hey, ad hoc committee, come back and tell us how much you think we should allot to this?
That would be at your discretion.
So we could say like for this year, a certain dollar amount, ad hoc come back and tell us how we should run the program specifically.
You can, it would be out, so again, it's outside of your policy, but to the extent you do that, it sounds like you're saying allocate a certain amount of dollars subject to the details being worked out by the ad hoc committee, is that what you're
Yeah,
saying?
and then grants, and then organizations applying for that, those, for that stipend.
I'll do that. I'm gonna be on
That's
that.
a possibility.
Okay. Can I, or do you have any, well, first board, any comments from the board first? I was gonna go to public comment if there's no
Okay.
comments from the board. Yeah, public comment on this item?
My name is Magdiel Ruiz. Good evening, everyone. I think that would be a great program, actually. I've been coaching in Selma Youth Soccer League since 2009. And I have a few of the current players that we have. And it would definitely be a great help for some of those players that
families
families that cannot afford those fees. So with the group that I have up here right now, we play year round. So because the Selma Youth Soccer League only runs, for the fall, after they age out, we created this team to keep
all
it
year.
busy and healthy, and basically, I think it's a great opportunity.
What percentage do you think is a good
I
percentage
was
to
gonna
pay?
ask the same thing.
I would say the 50%.
Obviously.
You're asking the right person.
Say this, or you were applying for this grant. What are the costs of your or your league per player?
Per player, you're probably looking at about $100 per registration.
And that's for a full year of playing with the team, or
No, that would be half a year.
half a year? So for an annual cost per player. So like all year, how much would a parent be paying for their child to play for your league?
Probably a couple hundred per player.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then that would mean
That would be just registration.
that'd be just registration, because they also have costs that are, obviously
You got
cleats,
uniforms,
uniforms,
you got equipment,
Right.
Mhm.
yeah. Tournaments, which
yeah.
is parents. I got some parents back here too that
Yes.
ref fees as well.
Yeah. The reason I ask is because there is a means to put actual cost per player per league versus just cost of registration. Because the registration, let's say for some youth soccer league, it also has in it the registration fee per a player includes uniform, ref fees, and all that stuff when they apply. So say you do apply for this thing, I'm just looking to see the difference between a full year-round league cost versus a seasonal league in the city. So your cost is a lot higher than a seasonal league, just because one, you're keeping 2 pairs of cleats on these guys, maybe more. I'm not sure how much they
Right,
run.
because they play year round. So.
Yeah, and then all the uniforms and stuff, stuff like that. There's a difference between registration and cost per player. So that when we look in the ad hoc, I just want to make sure we address cost per player versus registration fees alone. So that's why I asked how much it would be realistically, and like how much are parents shelling out. Say they have, or I don't know if it's right now, but if you got twins, you're doubling up on a lot of
I
stuff.
got 5 kids.
Yeah. I've got 3 and I'm waiting for this.
So yeah, it'd definitely be help for a lot of families.
Awesome.
Okay, thank you.
I'm just trying to put all this together, but like I said, I'm glad sports is back again. You guys are trying to implement sports and help give back some of the funding to get these people's back with their kids and everybody back with sports, with a lot of the diabetes and just physically, we need to keep these kids motivated. But just being on a couple of ad hoc committees, just using the soccer, since he's stating 200 per kid, it would be nice if you guys also make flyers per sports team. I'm going to use the soccer. You will do flag football. Everybody would have a flyer that says normally registration fee is $200. The Selma Healthcare with your logo on top, sponsored 50% because that's what was mentioned. And so this year's fee will be $100 annually. and actually each kid would apply towards that program with those 3 items that's really basic. Fill out what kid it is, and you guys have paperwork for each sports. But at least the flyer will show normal fees for each sports. Selma Healthcare District did 50, 40%, whatever you guys agree on, and then the new register fee. Get your kids involved with. Now there's an opportunity to get your kids back involved with sports.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Something to that degree. Thank you.
Yeah. The only concern that I've got with that specifically is that we'd have 800 applications to go through. So this the stipend kind of addresses the amount of kids that will be going through, and then allots a certain amount percentage wise. So we don't have to go individually. It supports the kids, or it supports the families on a percentage basis instead of one by one.
Okay, so we're gonna create ad hoc for this.
One more comment. So I think, so anybody else wants to weigh in, great movement by the board, seeing great things from the healthcare district. Again, was here for the Christian Cafe when you did that. It's off topic, but you're doing great things, board. Keep moving forward. I think the healthcare district, you lost your way a little bit. Just so did the city. The last 4 years, there are people trying to pull it back. It's like they're going to try to pull your healthcare district back. Comes down to leadership. Don't listen to that. Provide service to our community. When I heard you guys have $630,000 in your account, I figured, what's your reserve? What's your reserve policy? You keep talking about policies tonight. With the city, we've got a 20% reserve policy. School districts like 3 or 4%. What are you guys holding on to it for? This is our property tax. I would encourage you, and I commend you for having this discussion tonight to find ways to provide service to the community rather than, hey, how do we fit our policy definition? Really, your policy should be taking care of us in your community who provide your property taxes. So remember, your policy ends with us. They tell us that same thing with the city. So I encourage you to move forward tonight, have that ad hoc committee, and help these kids with their registrations for the sports. Look at all the kids who showed up tonight on a school night with their coaches, their parents on a work night. I applaud you and commend you for coming out. So do your job, and we'll do ours at the city, and all of us get together as a team and help these teams because these kids are doing great things. Let's help them. A lot of these kids, they have more than one kid in the family. You got 3, MacDill has 5. They can't afford to have all the kids play sports. Let's bring that back so they can have all the kids play the sports, and let's make sports a family event again. Thank you.
I have a comment.
Thank you. Anthony?
Yeah, you and I have talked about the grants, like the mini grants, and the teams that came, and you and I have talked about, it'd be great to, cover the cost of the kids instead of some of these grants coming asking for, various things. So I think you took what we talked about and then just took it to a whole different level. So thanks for putting the effort into it. I do have some concerns on some of the processes, and the major question I have, and Mayor kind of alluded to it, was our budget. We haven't allotted for this in our budget, so is that going to be? We should look at revising a budget to include some of these other items. And last thing I have on this is, the reason we have that reserve is because we haven't gave money out freely. And what it has allowed us to do is give it very, for a very specific cause, which is, health related, direct health related, like the Lucas devices. If we hadn't, been kind of strict in the past on what we gave money to, we wouldn't have had the money to buy 3 Lucas's devices. Plus, I think we're looking at another 4. So again, if we are not careful with our money, it sounds like we have a lot of money, but we don't receive a lot of money on an annual basis from taxes. So again, we have to be really good stewards with our money, or we will find ourselves, in a situation where we can't help these kids in the future as much as we would like to. So again, the budget is what I'm concerned with right now, and how we can keep these programs going, because I think this is a good program. I just need some fine details worked out.
So one thing that
Yeah,
is
one
beneficial
second.
about this.
1 second. Oh, shoot. Yeah, Anthony, you addressed a couple of things that, yeah, 100%. Our policy at the moment is, we're not 100% following it. And that's partly, I'll take the hit on that, because what needs to happen is I need to get together with Anthony, because there's an ad hoc to look at our governing documents and make sure that programs like this can go. Some of these are just such pressing issues that I want to, at least roll some of them into stuff that we can do now. I need to make the effort for sure to look at it, go over our governing documents and make sure that we can do these programs.
Do they say why they don't?
Sorry. And make sure that these programs can come forward to the board and at least, be asked and addressed upon. It is a little uncomfortable on my part to place items on here that don't go within our policy. I don't see, it's realistically on our, on the board's, at the board's discretion, and we could receive some kickback from that. And, but I'm prepared to, to hear that and still go forward with, some of the stuff we believe, or I specifically believe in. So that's why, presenting stuff like this is important, but also getting back to those governing documents, making sure that we can follow our own policies continuously without running into, of course, we're going to have, legal consultation tell us, hey, you're not following your policy, and it's not a good continuing practice. So I'll definitely address and get back to making sure that we do and continue, but help, making sure we help is definitely going to be number one. You had something.
Yeah, so one thing about his concerns too is that this is in the packet, it specifically says that it's a pilot program because like you said, there's a lot of unknowns, right? We're all just trying to figure out the best way to get kids back into sports at an affordable rate. And so there is a little bit of guessing games going on right now because it's a pilot program. I think that's where it kind of is beneficial to you guys though, because it's a pilot program. It leaves a lot of things open-ended for you guys to make the decisions on: the price, the cap, if it's a yearly program, if it's every other year. There's a lot of things in there that give you guys a lot of power on how you guys want this to look, how you guys want it to run, how it works with what you guys have. And so, yeah, it's just a way to get the community into sports at an affordable rate. And it is very customizable. It's not in action right now. This is the bare bones of it. It's being presented right now just so that you guys can kind of get a feel of how we can make this work, how we can get the kids. Yeah, of course.
I remember years back, didn't Parks and Recreations help? Do you ever remember? You guys probably don't. It was when Michael Kirshner was here. And there used to be something like that where every league was given like, I don't know, 20 vouchers, 10 vouchers and the board chose who would get those. Do you remember anything like that? It would be something like that, kind of, but this
was Kaiser, right?
Yeah, so back when I started in 2019, we had a Kaiser grant. They would allocate.
Yeah, that's what it was. There you go.
They would
Yep.
allocate $10,000, and so families would come into our center, our senior
Apply.
center, and apply for that up to $75 off of their registration.
Yes.
When
that's what
COVID
it
hit,
was.
they deterred away from that, and so now we still apply for a Kaiser grant. It's just that the specifications for the grant have changed, and now it goes towards our senior meal program.
Okay.
So they no longer do the Kaiser grant. Or for the
Well-
sports programs, I've inquired. It is just not a program that they have
Okay.
anymore.
I was just remembering something like that. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Was there board discussion before? I had a suggestion, but okay. Since we just a preface too, I want to make sure that we have a budget before June of this year, because that's our fiscal year. Since we didn't have a specified budget this last fiscal year, we definitely need to do that before June 2026, and we'll make sure that happens. The other thing that I was gonna say is since, you know, the amounts on here were reflected about of the percentages on the deal up there, and it was between 10 and 60, I think it was 64,000. My goal would be not to just, focus on just the 8. I would suggest we do, like we did in the past and do, $100,000 for the year, with this stipend program and allow, or cap, or allow $100,000 to be used in the stipend program, contingent upon a ad hoc committee going through and revising and making sure that the specifics of the program reflect our well, one, legal, are legal, and we can feel comfortable granting those stipends throughout the year. Does that make sense?
Yeah, what we could help with if we consider doing it. Like we'd have to look into it. Just bring
Yeah,
it ad hoc.
so, or I guess my motion would be to allow $100,000 for the 2026 year, or it would technically be 2026 to 2027, for this youth sports stipend program, contingent upon a ad hoc committee reporting a finalized process for nonprofit or sports organizations to apply for the stipend. That cover everything that I'd need to do?
You'd have to establish the ad hoc committee, but it sounds like what you're saying is you're making, the motion would be to make an initial determination with regards to a cap on the dollar amount, but the final decision as to the process is going to be worked up by the ad hoc committee and brought back to this board.
Yes. Yeah, then we'll vote on
If it
the
goes
implementation of the program. Yeah, but my intent is to set aside $100,000 for it, for the 2026 to 2027 year. And it's specifically 2020, now until June 2027, the end of 2027 fiscal year,
Okay.
not December.
And just to
Okay.
be clear, I
Yeah.
think what Director or Treasurer Gallardo is saying is that the ultimate decision is coming back to this board.
Yes, the ultimate decision, so we couldn't enact it unless it came back to the board, and the board decided yes on the implementation of the stipend. But I want to make it clear that my motion is stating to set aside the $100,000 for the program. So it is above the percentage deal, only because, well, I can't. Second, is there a second?
I'll second it.
The reason for my $100,000 is because I know there are some other programs that would qualify, that is possible that they can benefit from this program too in the city of Selma, other sports programs besides the 8. Other discussion?
No, we're gonna bring it back right after we do.
Okay, I'd have to designate the ad hoc before, right? Before the vote?
I would recommend, establishing the ad hoc committee.
Letitia, would you be willing to sit on it and then with me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna designate us two to sit on that ad hoc and bring it back to the board. Do we need to establish a date to bring it back? Or just our next meeting?
No, I think it would be contingent upon the ad hoc committee doing the work necessary.
Yeah.
If you want to set a date, you can. The only problem might be is if the ad hoc committee hasn't done that work yet.
Yeah.
We'll do it, and we could even call a special meeting.
Yeah. Okay. Alrighty. Does everybody understand the motion?
Yes. Okay.
Alrighty. I made the motion, so my vote is yes. Treasurer Gallardo,
Yes.
Member Alanis,
Yes.
Member Avalos? Alrighty. That ad hoc will establish this and come back to the board. Hopefully we can get some of those stipends out as soon as we get that all, you know, what is it? Or I's dotted and T's crossed. So.
Thank you. All right.
Alrighty. Is anybody opposed to 3-minute recess for restroom really quick, or are we trying to get going?
I'm trying to get going.
Yeah, I'm trying to get going too. I just wanted to
Yeah.
ask.
I got my.
Alrighty, let's keep going then. Discussion and possible action to approve funding to support the City of Selma CPR certification program.
We don't need, we funded. it,
$5,338 or $5,333.88.
Good evening, board. Like I was saying earlier about our update, the classes that we did this last year, we had 63 seats that we had open. We had 58 seats get filled, so it's a 92% participation rate from the community, which is huge. And with that, we'd like to continue this program going forward. I know we are over that 5,000 marker. I think what happened was initially when we came up with this program 2 years ago, our costs were like $4,972, something around there. And each year the prices have gone up just because expenses have gone up. So that is what it is when it comes to that dollar amount. That being said, if we are over and we need to work down that budget somehow to kind of get it to that 5,000 marker to make it a, easier to pass, we can definitely look at where we can, take those costs down to get it to that number. But that being said, our priority is to repeat this program for this next year and get, full participation in the 90% and try to get to 100%. So we can get all these citizens, Selma, educated on CPR.
Okay.
Any questions?
No.
You said it was 65.
53 seats that were
63
open
seats?
and 58 got filled, so 92% participation.
Cool.
Which is great. We had, just to kind of give you the background, we had every age generation. We had 16-year-old kids that babysit for their brothers and sisters. We had parents, we had grandparents, we had every generation of people in that class taking CPR. So it was awesome to see the different lives, the different generations trying to take this one class. It was pretty good to see.
And you
everybody
said last year you did a couple in Spanish?
We did one this last year in Spanish. That was our 8th class, would have been the 2nd in Spanish, but because of the cost that we had to pay to get our new funding or our new books to teach this next year, we used that class that we would have spent on cards to pay for those books.
Okay. If the community asks for it, would you be willing to add a class that is in Punjabi if we are contingent on getting a Punjabi instructor?
Yeah, so
An instructor who speaks Punjabi.
yes, so that would, the only thing that I would say yes, I would not have an issue with that. The only issue is we have to send our staff to get certified to teach the class through AHA. And currently there's no one on our staff that speaks Punjabi to translate. So that's where we would come into that barrier. We had one person, but he was a part-time employee that no longer works with us. So that is kind of out of not a obtainable goal at the moment. But let's just say we hired somebody that spoke Punjabi tomorrow. We could definitely send them that class to get certified so we could teach to translate to teach Punjabi CPR classes.
If if there was somebody that was willing to do so, they would have to be a
member of the City Selma Fire
City
Department.
Selma
Yes,
Fire Department?
Correct.
Okay.
Okay.
Other discussion?
I'm good. I'm ready. Open public.
Any motions?
I second.
What's the motion for?
533.
The whole thing, right? Okay. There's a motion to approve the $5,333.88 for this program, and they were seconded. Alrighty. Member Avalos? Member Alanis?
Yes.
Treasurer Gallardo?
Yes.
And yes, for myself. Alrighty.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you. All right, discussion and possible action to approve the purchase of 4 Lucas chest compression devices for the Selma Fire Department. The amount is $97,027 or $72.65.
Again, so we are asking for funding for an additional 4 Lucas devices. After seeing the statistics on the first 3 that got implemented, we've seen that it's a tremendous benefit to the citizens of Selma. And so right now, our current Lucas devices live here in the city limits. So if you look at the map of the Selma Healthcare District, it's just the box of the city. By purchasing these other 4 Lucas devices, we're going to be placing those on our ambulances. So
Mm.
currently they're just on our engines, and then that would cover 100% of the Selma Healthcare District because our area for our ambulance coverage covers that edge of Parlier and 100% of the Selma Healthcare District area. So that would ensure that, you know, if a cardiac arrest went out anywhere in that area, a Lucas device would be sent to that residence or that address that, you know, is in that district. So we are requesting funding for additional 4 and putting them on our ambulances, and that way all 7 of our frontline apparatus that serve our community have that technology, and at the end of the day, it's a benefit and it's a better outcome for our citizens when there's a cardiac arrest emergency. And the statistics on that it shows that.
Is it chief or captain?
Division chief,
Division
yes,
chief, okay. So we provided 3,
correct.
correct? They're great devices.
Yes.
I'd like them all running on the ambulance as well. I think it's important. However, I was just wondering, no money can be used out of the ambulance fund or the Measure S fund?
So
Just only, the only thing is because if we paid for 2,
3.
and, no, if you want
Okay,
4.
okay,
you
yes,
want-
gotcha, yes.
We paid for 2, you matched 2 out of those funds,
So
those accounts.
in the current budget that wasn't allocated in there. The reason being is this last year, our budget cycle, we purchased new cardiac monitors, the LifePak 35 monitors, and we purchased those on a lease to purchase option. And we allocated $108,000 over the next 6 years to pay for those new monitors. Our old monitors were so old, they didn't make parts for them anymore. So the cardiac monitors are a priority just because they're required to be on all of our
So
apparatus.
all our ambulances are gonna have them now.
Correct.
Oh,
And
okay, I
and
got
our
it.
ambulances, our fire engines, everybody has a new cardiac monitor. So
You can come back again and ask for more?
I hope not,
Just
but
kidding.
you never know. Yeah, we'll see what happens. If we get more ambulances, that would be beneficial, but that'd probably be the only circumstance.
What do we need to save lives and?
Correct. So,
what we'll do.
so out of that, like back to your question, the money that we get from that fund is already allocated to certain things. We're buying ambulances, we're buying cardiac monitors, we're paying for wages. So that money's pretty tight and it's pretty, you know, spoken for. If
I
we
might
did,
need
I
it for my
definitely
mommy.
would have those purchased through the city, but that's not an option at this point.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm good with it.
Now you also service Kingsburg?
No, so
Not
our-
anymore.
No, our service area for our ambulances covers the city of Selma, a little bit of Parlier, the same area that you guys cover,
Yeah.
and then we cover the city of Fowler all the way out to East Avenue, almost to 41. So our geographical zone for our ambulances is pretty significant. It's like 121 square miles that we cover in this area.
Okay, so will you be going to Fowler and asking for monies also? If you're gonna put these in there for
No.
them,
No, because currently our ambulances live in the city of Selma. So we get dispatched to our area. We inherited that by, you know, just having our ambulance service. So our ambulance currently are housed here in Selma. They're not housed in Fowler. So if Fowler requests a call, the ambulance has to drive from Selma to Fowler to run that call. So we haven't gone
far
to
to
their
save
healthcare district. I don't even know if they have one, to be honest. But in the
okay, so
future,
you wouldn't use it over there then?
correct. We could, in theory, if a 911 call happened, just our ambulance would go. So, so right now, now that the ambulances are on an engine, we had an incident, or not an incident, we had a cardiac arrest call out off of Manning on the west side. And our crews got dispatched with the CAL FIRE unit because that's their area. And we requested a Lucas device for a pediatric cardiac arrest. And there was a whole discussion about why the apparatus was requested, but at the end of the day, it was because it had life-saving equipment on it that the engine there didn't. Granted, everybody there knows CPR, but when it comes down to you know, that how good that machine works, you know, the engine ended up going. They ended up using it. They ended up taking it with the patient. The patient didn't have a good outcome, unfortunately, but at least they had the opportunity to have that equipment used on them. So. That's how that works. Eventually, if Fowler becomes an area where we do have an ambulance, not saying that's gonna happen, but if it were, then maybe we could go down that avenue, but today, no.
Okay. Open discussion for the public comment? No, nobody?
Yeah, we'll open it up to the public for comments or board. Nope.
I'll make the motion for the 97-07265.
I second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to allow or to fund 4 Lucas devices for in the amount of $97,072.65. We will take the vote. Treasurer Gallardo,
Yes.
Member Alanis,
Yes.
Member Avalos, and myself, yes.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Okay. Alrighty, thank you. We'll move on to discussion possible action regarding establishment of some healthcare district post office box, a PO box. It costs $162 annually. The reason I pulled this up is because we were having issues with the mail here. It's too close, or I guess clerically, it's too close to the name. So when people are going through, apparently they just open our mail as well. I personally, this isn't a board issue, but I personally had an issue with them continuously opening our mail. I didn't really like it. So I was, the quick
I'm good
deal
with
is to
it.
get a PO
Let's
box.
do it.
Do I have any discussion or
Nope.
concerns on anybody?
Nope. Yes, let's get the PO box.
Okay, the other thing is how many keys or and access would we have or need? The 162 annually allows for 2 keys, and then you can get more for a small cost, which isn't a whole lot, but
You just need the 2 keys.
that's sounds like something we can.
I
go
think
into.
3 keys. 3 keys
What's
is
the
good.
question?
It's just that's an okay process for
Okay.
us to allow us to get a PO box. There's no issue with address change or anything from certain places, or
Well, I mean, I think there's going to be some just administrative ramifications from it, but from a legal perspective, the district can establish its own PO box.
okay, all right. I
With
just wanted to
3
make sure.
keys. One-
Alrighty.
whatever the cost is plus 3 keys, or 1 additional key, so 3 keys total.
Okay.
Okay.
The other thing I wanted to discuss in this item is our I don't know. I don't think this is something we need to vote on, but just in general, the process of picking up mail and getting it to where it needs to go. It hasn't been very efficient, which is why I was going to say.
It was
Yeah,
efficient.
which is why I was going to say the keys. I was going to give one to Letitia, keep one for the secretary when and if we do hire one, and then one general one, I guess, to keep with the chair or whoever. And then if anybody requests it to, like, I mean, I wouldn't deny giving a key or giving the key to anybody if we do get 3. But the process of picking up the mail, it was brought up to go through another person besides the treasurer, and I'm still trying to figure out why we were asking that.
I don't think I've ever
Oh,
advised on that, but I can
specifically.
speak just generally. I would suggest that you have the keys assigned to officer titles. That way, when there's any changes in an officer positions, the key would change and go to the new officer. And then with regards to that question, I think the question is controls,
Mhm.
which are something that boards like yourself, as well as businesses, have just certain controls over how they process payments. But that could be handled in any number of ways.
Okay, and then there's no
People need to get paid, and
there is no I guess worry. I don't know if it's to say worry, but
Never
there's
been
no
here before.
there's no issue with our own treasurer picking up mail and taking because a lot of the things that I'm making sure that she needs to get are the checks coming in from
Checks
our
and,
funding.
and bills that
I don't want them to get
paid.
lost within somebody.
I
else
have
having to
2
pick them up.
bills that I'm not even aware of. I just barely sent them out because they just vanished.
There's no reason why she couldn't pick up the mail or completely, is there?
Well, I mean, that's a broad question.
in
and there's no
the
reason-
treasurer themselves.
What I would recommend is I would recommend to any business I'm advising, as well as any board like yourselves, is you just establish certain controls. It doesn't need to be overly complicated,
Mhm.
but just a policy to be followed.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so let's do this specific item first, establishing it. Somebody made a motion, correct? And then did somebody second it?
For the post office?
Yeah. There was no second? Okay, well, there is, okay, all right. Just want to make sure if it wasn't beforehand or else I would have.
Okay.
Alrighty, Treasurer Gallardo,
Yes.
Member Avalos, Member Alanis,
Yes.
myself, yes.
Your little voice, Lorraine, it's
Okay.
disappearing. Okay,
Alrighty.
what else?
Okay, so the next item, I have on here because we really need to, or we need to go into closed session with this, but I need to refer, to legal counsel for,
Chair, I would just advise that you state that the board's going to be going into closed session and accept any public comments before doing so,
okay, sounds good.
and then convene into closed
That
session.
was gonna be my question, yes. Okay, we're gonna, convene into closed session, so if we, do any public comments beforehand? No comments from the public? Alrighty, the board now convened into closed session.